Days and Minutes. The Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. And it's game day. Cowboys, Eagles, kickoff in a little more than 3 hours from right now. We'll get you ready on this football Monday. We're out at the I-10 Icehouse with our friends at Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And come by and see us here at the I-10 Icehouse because Miller Lite, man, they have broken out the prize closet. Lots of stuff to give away, including Cowboy game tickets. We got a Miller Lite Cowboys OtterBox cooler, the Drew Pearson Hall of Fame standee, other great Cowboys Miller Lite prizes, and then, of course, from now until, the end of the game, Miller Lite long necks for just $2.08. You can't beat that. $2.08 for a nice ice-cold Miller Lite. So come see us here at the I-10 Icehouse. It's I-10 just past Wurzbach, right behind All-Stars. You know where it is. And you walk in here. There's pool tables, there's dartboards, there's screens everywhere. Great place to come watch the game tonight as the Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles. And we'll get you ready for that game throughout the show. Our buddy RJ Ochoa is going to join us coming up at 5 o'clock. And the Moose, Daryl Johnston. It's Mondays with the Moose. The three-time Super Bowl champion is going to join us at 5:30. Big day for Daryl as well, because at halftime of this game, they're going to honor three Cowboy legends and get their Hall of Fame rings. Jimmy Johnson, one of them, Daryl's coach, and we'll talk about that with Daryl and obviously his thoughts on the game as the Cowboys have a chance to be the only NFC East team to win a game this weekend. I guess the same could be said for the Philadelphia Eagles, but damn well the Cowboys are going to win the game today. Lots to get into with the NFL. It was Spurs Media Day, and I got to tell you, it was different, but it was great. To walk into the Spurs practice facility, to see Pop face-to-face. Haven't been in a room with Pop in, year and a half. Outside of seeing various players not doing basketball-related things, haven't been around an NBA player in person in a long time. It was great that it was a media day in person. It wasn't what we normally do, but it was still better than what we did last year. Great to not have to do that kind of stuff completely over Zoom. So we'll talk a lot of Spurs today as well. Crazy weekend in college football. And I say that in a sense that, going into the weekend, it looked like there were a couple of good games, but it wasn't that great weekend of marquee matchups. Yet we had upset after upset after upset, including Arkansas taking down them Aggies. Clint Stoerner will join us at 6:30. I think he's still whooping and hollering. Arkansas is a good football team. And all you Aggies that gave the Longhorns so much crap, I need to hear from you today. You Aggies that were calling in talking about welcome to the SEC, Texas. Arkansas did the same thing to Texas A&M. Aggies got some bigger issues at quarterback. Haynes King cannot get healthy fast enough. But their issues on the line, it was real. And I think Arkansas's really proven to be that good of a football team. And I don't know how many were actually surprised that they did to A&M what they did. It was a wild weekend. How about the Longhorns hanging 70 on Texas Tech? Hell, everybody scored in that game, including Santa Claus. I mean, Texas Tech couldn't stop anybody up in Austin. Bijan Robinson, dude, real deal. How about the UTSA? Down 21-0 to come back and win that game on a last-second field goal. Jeff Traylor has a 24-hour rule, but he's going to break it with us on the Blitz when he joins us coming up at 6 o'clock to talk about that Roadrunners 4-0 start. The accolades that are coming their way, can't eat the cheese. I'm worried about this UNLV game coming up on Saturday in the Dome. I know the rally is going to be there again. You got to pack the Dome. For the love of God, they've got to get more than 16,000. It's UNLV. They're winless, but they've had a pretty decent schedule. While they haven't won a game. I don't know why this one feels like that icky trap game for UTSA. It really does. We'll talk about that coming up with Jeff Traylor. Peter Burns will join us at 4:30 from the SEC Network. And let's talk about the NFL as we get ready for Cowboys and Eagles tonight. So many storylines from a crazy day in the NFL. And I got to tell you, it was great because you could just sit on your couch and watch the Red Zone all day long. I mean, For you Texans fans, you got your loss out of the way on Thursday night. Cowboy fans, they got to wait till Monday. So you had all day Sunday to watch all the games. And especially the early games. So many people interested in Justin Fields and what he was going to do with the Chicago Bears. Nagy needs to be fired now. I mean, whatever he did, whatever that game plan was, I'm not sure. But I've never seen an NFL offense that inept. I mean, Ben DiNucci played better. Think about that for a minute. Ben freaking DiNucci looked better than whatever game plan the Chicago Bears rolled out there on Sunday afternoon. I mean, that was criminal. That was criminal, and that was embarrassing for the Chicago Bears. For you Bears fans, I don't know what to tell you. James Pledger producing as always. Mm-hmm. You look at what Chicago did not do. I mean,
mm-hmm.
They were playing who? The Cleveland Browns, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Myles Garrett was the welcome to the NFL committee chairman he got a season's worth of sacks in one game on Justin Fields. I mean, that looked like Alabama versus, multi-directional school in a money game.
I heard a phenomenal stat earlier today. Net passing yardage was 1. There were 68 passing yards from Justin Fields, and his 9.5 sacks equaled 67 total yards. So the Bears offense netted 1 total yard through the air.
It was disgusting. It was embarrassing. And now Nagy says this week, Fields might start, Dalton might start, Foles might start. They're all hurt, but my God, I don't know what you do. I mean, the only thing more embarrassing than the Chicago Bears might be the New York Jets. I mean, really, when you look at NFL teams that should get relegated, I think the Jets and the Bears would be at the top of the list right now, just for lack of NFL preparedness. At least Saleh up there with the New York Jets, and I like him. And I do feel like he's a coach that can turn it around. But they don't have a veteran quarterback in that room for their rookie that you love, James Pledger. You love this kid. Told me he was going to be a superstar.
Well,
you lied to me. He won't be. He's going to be broke.
He's going to be like Sam Darnold. He's going to go somewhere else and turn into a star.
Well, all right, that might be. But you told me he was going to be a star with the Jets. Don't have revisionist history with me now. You love this kid. You even wear a headband now to look like him.
Yep.
But Sal, did you hear their coach come out and say, "Man, they look so good in practice." I mean, they look so good. That's the most ridiculous high school level thing I've heard. Well, we look good in practice. We just got to figure out how to execute on a Friday night. The Jets have to figure out how to execute on a Sunday afternoon. How about former Longhorn Justin Tucker with an NFL record field goal to win the game? Lions were robbed, but then again, they were gifted an opportunity to be robbed because Hollywood Brown has been benched by my fantasy football team. I don't know if I could start him again. I mean, Hollywood Brown dropped 3 touchdown passes, 3 sure touchdowns. That game shouldn't have been close, but Hollywood Brown had a bad case of the yips. It's one thing to drop 1. It's another to drop 2. That first one, though, I think was tipped. I'll give him a little bit on that one, but the other 2, inexcusable for an NFL wide receiver. Then, the Lions, when you're a team that doesn't know how to win, bad things happen to you, and they happen to the Detroit Lions. There should have been a pass interference or delay a game penalty on Baltimore, but there wasn't. And when you think about delay a game, you see it all the time. The clock hits 0, and the ref that's in charge of calling a delay a game sees the clock hit 0 and looks to see if the ball has been snapped, and then we'll throw a flag. So in reality, you do get an extra second for a delay of games. We have seen that from the beginning of time, and it's only when your team gets burned by it do you bitch about it. It was zeros on the clock. We've been through this before. Detroit, dude, it's just bad luck. And for Tucker to kick it off like a kickoff, he had that little hop step and, got every bit of that ball. I mean, 1 more yard, it's short. 1 more yard, it could be a kick six. I don't know what the hell Cliff Kingsbury was thinking down in Jacksonville, but it's Jacksonville, so they ultimately ended up getting the win. The Kansas City Chiefs are 1-2. How come Patrick Mahomes is not getting just flat killed by every media outlet? I mean, think about it. I mean, I know Patrick Mahomes is the golden boy, and I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan, but he has cost his team 2 games with dumb throws that he did make at one point. We've seen him make it, but for whatever reason, that Kansas City offense isn't clicking like it has in the past. I think about Patrick Mahomes buying the Royals. I think about Patrick Mahomes buying a piece of the Royals, not the whole thing. But he's owning a Major League Baseball team. He's a big reason why Whataburger is moving into the Missouri area. He's owner of that franchise. We hear about all the things that Patrick Mahomes does off the field and his off season. But how many other quarterbacks would be able to survive when the expectations are what they are, to make the mistakes and the turnovers that he has made and not just get blistered? Imagine if that were Dak. Imagine if it were Tony Romo. He just got in trouble for golfing too much and going to Mexico one time when his coach told him to. Patrick Mahomes getting a pass, but he's also getting a new weapon. Josh Gordon is going to sign with Kansas City. Speaking of quarterbacks, Big Ben looks done. I don't know what Mike Tomlin does. A lot of us thought that last year would be it for Big Ben. He took a pay cut. He came back. They don't have the next in the building, which leads me to a story that Jay Glazer had over the weekend. James Pledger, you think about the Houston Texans. Are they softening on their trade demand stance? Jay Glazer reported yesterday that the Texans turned down 3 1s and 3 3s because they want more. Now, you can be greedy and you can be stupid. At some point, I don't know what your asking price is. I know 3 number 1s are going to be there. I know, what did we hear initially? 3 1s and 3 2s. They didn't really want players. They wanted nothing but picks. 3 1s and 3 2s, you should take that. It's almost criminal that you turn that down. I mean, that almost seems like a fireable offense if that is true. And now the reports are, well, maybe they're willing to negotiate a little bit more. If I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm on the phone with the Houston Texans right now saying, what is it going to take? You know, Miami's probably doing the same thing. We've heard a lot of reports about the Miami Dolphins wanting big time in on Deshaun Watson, but not willing to pay the price. And maybe with Tua's injury, they would. But Deshaun is not on the exempt list. So he literally could be playing within a week or two of showing up to a new team. Unless, of course, he gets traded and the commissioner comes in and puts him on the list. Because there needs to be assurances from the league that, hey, if we make a trade and give up all these trade assets, that you're not going to do that. And you got to believe at some point they'll do that. At some point, Roger Goodell will make, whether it's a public announcement or privately with a owner before he pulls off a trade like that, hey, at least for this year, at least right now, we have no plans on suspending Deshaun or putting him on the commissioner's exempt list. So go ahead and make your trade and see what happens. My fear is, while the Texans might be willing to accept a little bit less than what they've reportedly already turned down, that the commissioner has said, no, he's not on an exempt list because I'm not worried about seeing him on a football field in Houston. But if you trade for him, we're immediately going to put him on the commissioner's exempt list. Because you got to figure there's got to be something in the back rooms that are happening that is keeping a trade from getting done. There's too many teams out there that clearly need a quarterback. You know, you look at the Jets. They might need a veteran quarterback. Although they've got their future. I'm there. You know, Carolina was in on the mix. Denver was in on the mix. I mean, don't look at Denver and go, well, they're 3-0. Yeah, Denver sucks. They have played 3 teams with a combined record of 0-9. Denver is about to realize that they're the Denver Broncos, right? I mean, maybe one of the worst undefeated teams after 3 weeks in the history of the National Football League. So when you look at it, don't you feel like, James, there's got to be something going on in the back rooms that is keeping a deal from getting done? We keep hearing about all these trades at the draft. I understand. Around the draft, you want to get max value. Teams are wheeling and dealing. This time of year, just get a deal done and get him out of your building and get what you can for him. That's what they need to do.
Well, it's either that or them softening on their stance might mean, because a lot of these teams want to pick protections in case something happened to Deshaun. So does them softening maybe them realizing we're going to have to get some protective picks, or we're going to have to put protections on some of these picks, or we're going to have to hold on to them until this entire legal situation somehow gets cleared up in 1-2 years.
I'm not giving up any protections. And if that's been the deal breakers, I don't blame Nick Caserio for saying no. You want Deshaun. It's like you're buying a used car as is. I mean, it's a good looking car. It runs great, might need a new motor. But once you take it, that's yours. I'm not giving you anything back if it breaks down on your way out of here. You're buying it as is, and you know what you're getting. You know exactly what you're getting with Deshaun Watson. You know what the risk is. You know what the reward is. There has never been a player that had a more clearly defined risk reward when it comes to a trade. But the problem is there's a lot of risk, and it's a high price for that kind of risk. It'll be interesting to see, but there's teams that are getting desperate, and I think Pittsburgh is about to fall into that boat, because that's not a bad football team, but their quarterback is killing them. That defense isn't good enough to carry Big Ben. Big Ben, Najee Harris had 102 receiving yards because Big Ben can't get protected long enough to get a receiver downfield, so he's dumping it off to his running back. As a guy that has Najee in fantasy, I was happy with yesterday's. He had more receptions than rushing attempts. I mean, but that's not what he was brought there for. And they can't run the ball because their offensive line sucks. They need a mobile quarterback. Right now, they've got less than a statue than what the Cowboys had when Brad Johnson was lining up for him. I mean, it's just bad all the way around, and it's only going to get worse. You can't bench Big Ben. You can't, and they won't. But even if they did, what are they turning to that doesn't completely lose the locker room? And at what point does Big Ben say, guys, I'm hurting the team? They say play until they rip the jersey off you. Somebody's about to rip the jersey off of Big Ben. It's kind of sad to see a guy at this stage be what he is. And I'm surprised that he is willing to let that happen. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Can't believe it's time to talk a little basketball. The NBA season officially started today with training camps opening. The Spurs held their media day today, and while David Letterman showed up at the Nets media day, he did. We didn't get David Letterman in San Antonio, but we did get some comedy. Greg Popovich was in a great mood. And I was curious what Pop was going to be like after an Olympic summer, a young team. You're not starting a season with realistic expectations of winning a title or being a playoff team. What kind of mood was Pop going to be in? What was his mindset? And Pop started telling jokes right from the get-go. One of the biggest offseason moves for the Spurs was getting Manu back in a advisory role. He was asked, how did you convince Manu to come back to work?
I've never been one to give up a whole lot of personal information and locker room stuff, but his wife needed him gone. We like Monty a lot better than him, so we listen to her.
And he's got a job, and his role not exactly defined, but it sounds like Manu has, a master key to the building. He can do what he wants.
Whatever he wants. He's going to do everything. He's going to help Brian management. He's going to help me with coaching. He's going to help the players with development. He's probably going to go scout some people. I think he's probably going to figure out a 2-week trip to Italy to scout foreign players. I might go with him. But I'm being serious. I mean, he's going to do all those things and see where he feels comfortable. And it's just great to have him in the program for all kinds of reasons. But mainly because we love the guy and he's Mono Ginobili. So who wouldn't want to have him around?
Exactly. Who wouldn't want to have him around? And the fact that he is, I think, is going to be great, not only for Pop, but also all those young players on that team, because he's going to get in there and he's going to do some coaching. Now, you think about this group, young group of players. I am honestly surprised that we have all these guys at the start of training camp. I thought for sure a couple of them would be gone in some sort of trade. But Pop's rolling young by design, he said, and he's excited about the group of players that is at the very least starting training camp.
Yeah, and that's exciting to me. I'm thrilled with this group. They're basically young, energetic, got a lot of speed. You know, I just talked to them briefly about the fact that there's no need to pace yourself. You know, nobody's going to play 39 minutes a game. We're not worried about stats or individual honors or anything like that. These guys are just going to have a ball playing. It's going to be simple stuff. And at both ends of the court, you know, we want a lot of activity, a lot of pace, and just play fast. Hopefully smart along with that.
Yeah.
But the pace should really be enjoyable to watch. These guys they enjoy each other. And it's exciting to me.
And that part about enjoying each other, it was on display at media day. You know, some of the guys that were jacking around a little bit while Derek White was at the desk at the table talking to us there and on the Zoom camera. Keldon snuck in behind him. Lonnie was kind of standing behind the media area, you know, making fun of him. Derek did not realize that Keldon was behind him. I mean, there were just some good funny moments, and you could tell through social media, not quite like the coffee gang that was with Manu and Patty, but there is some of that. These guys have fun together. They seem to like being around each other. I don't know who the leader of this group is yet, to be honest, and we'll find out when the games start with no DeMar DeRozan. Obviously, somebody's got to pick up the scoring slack, whether that be DeJounte or Keldon. I get the sense that Keldon has taken over the leadership role. You know, he has that Olympic gold medal now. His status has certainly been elevated. And Keldon talked about it. He takes that gold medal everywhere. You know, Derek White was asked, have you seen the gold medal? And he was like, well, hell yeah. No, you can't be around Keldon and not see it. Lonnie talked about he feels like he owns a piece of that gold medal, like 0.001% of that should be his because of all the work that he does in the in the gym with Keldon, getting him there. So when you look at it, I think it's going to be Keldon by default, maybe DeJounte, but even Pop said there is no go-to guy on this team.
It's exciting. I have no idea, you know, who I'm going to give it to or what play we're going to run. You know, like that. That's something that we're going to figure out as we move along here. And to me, that's exciting as hell. And it is to those guys, too.
And they don't have a superstar. We certainly know that. But they've got some guys that could be moving into that superstar realm. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. We'll have more from Spurs Media Day as we continue throughout the Blitz today. We're going to weave in between Spurs and Cowboys and the college football from the weekend, the NFL, all of it. It is a busy Monday. If you want to be a part of the show, you can get me on Twitter at Jason Minix. Pledge is at I Am a Pledge, or better yet, come see us here at the I-10 Icehouse. We're with Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. They've got a lot of great prizes to give away up until kickoff. So come out early, because you show up early, you get the first pick of the prizes, the big prizes, whether the Cowboy tickets or that OtterBox cooler. Lots of great stuff. And you can always dial us up on the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. And you know I'm a big fan of Kia Bossa smoked meats, whether you're talking about the great Kia Bossa Bacon, their breakfast links, the sausage. In fact, you're at home trying to figure out what you want to have for the game tonight, make sure you grill up some Kia Bossa sausage. Great, legendary, local San Antonio company. They started that company here in 1949, and while they've grown into a great national brand at Kia Bossa Smoked Meats, they still take care of their hometown of San Antonio. This year alone, Kia Bossa has donated more than 2 tons of sausage to the San Antonio Food Bank as part of their Links of Love program. And through this program, they're able to help nourish people in need through local food banks and disaster relief efforts. So you know when you go to the store and you get yourself some Kia Bossa products, that not only are you getting the best sausage on the planet, you're helping others get a great meal, others that are going through some tough times. You can learn more about the Kia Bossa Links of Love program at their website, KiaBossa.com. And you know if you're in the grocery store, you better get yourself some Kia Bossa today. Peter Burns of the SEC Network, he joins us next, right after Sports Center with James Pledger.
Thanks a lot, Jason. We'll start things off as tonight it is game night for the Dallas Cowboys as they take on the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football in a battle of 1-1 teams. Dallas is looking for their second straight win, and the winner of tonight's game will be in sole possession of first place in the NFC East. Kickoff is set for 7:15. It's a game you can catch right here on your home for the Dallas Cowboys, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. It all starts right after the Blitz, which is live from I-10 Icehouse. In college football, the UTSA Roadrunners are 4-0 as they upset the Tigers in Memphis on the road as they came back from a 21-0 deficit to win 38-28 thanks to a 42-yard field goal by Hunter Duplessis as time expired. Sincere McCormick ran for 186 yards and a score on 42 carries. The Texas Longhorns offense continues to roll since making the switch to Casey Thompson at quarterback, blowing out Texas Tech 70-35 as Thompson threw for 303 yards and 5 touchdowns while Bijan Robinson totaled 191 yards and a score. The Aggies fell to 15th in this week's AP poll as they lost to now 8th-ranked Arkansas 20-10 over the weekend, while Incarnate Word shut out McNeese State 31-0. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
For nearly 30 years, Thomas J. Henry has fought day in and day out for every client we've had the honor of representing. In our town, in our community, we will always be the name you trust. Thomas J. Henry. Available 24/7 nights and weekends. San Antonio, Texas.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hey, sweetie, what's going on?
Well, honey, I have some news.
Okay, what?
All that training paid off. I got the job.
Oh, I knew you would get it. So when do you start?
When you donate stuff to Goodwill, you help provide job training for people right here in your community. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Pro football season's here, and pro roofers save valuable time with Beacon Pro Plus. Beacon Pro Plus works 24/7 for material ordering, order history, and automated promotion tracking, so you can get your favorite GAF roofing products even when working remotely. And now, order on Beacon Pro Plus and get a $175 gift card and a chance for a VIP pro football getaway. Gear up and raise your game with Beacon Pro Plus today. Build, score, and win at BECN.com.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it going to work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Blake Stevens with San Antonio-based GPS of Texas. If you have commercial vehicles on the road, you're a target for personal injury lawyers. I mean, you're wearing a bullseye. Our system can protect you if there is an accident with proof of speed, video monitoring, even proof that your driver wasn't on his phone. Don't get hammered. Have real proof that you weren't at fault by installing our GPS camera tracking system. Call GPS of Texas at 210-587-7634 or gpsoftexas.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Second it takes. The Blitz with Jason Minix and Sports Insiders. San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. Out at the I-10 Icehouse. I-10 just past Wurzbach, right behind All-Stars. Cowboys, Eagles tonight. We're out here with Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. They brought a whole bunch of Cowboys prizes to give away, including a Miller Lite Dallas Cowboys OtterBox cooler. They've got a bunch of other stuff, some tumblers, some shirts, Cowboys, Atlanta Falcons tickets that we'll give away towards 7 o'clock. So if you want to win tickets, make sure you come by here to the I-10 Icehouse. Get here before 7. Cowboys, Eagles, just after 7 o'clock. And, of course, Miller Lite's $2.08 all evening long. Great night for the NFL. It was a great Saturday for college football. Let's talk about it with Peter Burns of the SEC Network. And, Peter, you had a tweet that summed it up. Coming into the weekend, it didn't look like a lot of great games. At the end of it, you were like, holy crap, that's why we love college football.
You can hear my daughter and my son in the car fired up about it as well too. It was awesome, man. You know, like again, every time you look at it, going, this is kind of ho hum. You always have that one week that the chaos ensues, and I think that's what we saw. Obviously, right off the bat, with Clemson had struggled for the last couple of weeks, Jason, and now NC State, knocks them off. And now it gets really interesting because, man, I think the ACC is out of the college football playoff. I just don't see a team, no offense to Wake Forest or Boston College, is going to make a run at this thing now for them.
No, they are done. Clemson, it's September. They already have 2 losses. The Big 12, quite honestly, still very wide open with Iowa State losing to Baylor in Waco. Oklahoma barely getting by West Virginia. Granted, they got the win, but 2 weeks, man, I think Texas has a chance. I mean, they hung 70. And I think for the Longhorns, at least in this neck of the woods, Peter, Longhorn fans aren't feeling as bad about the Arkansas loss because Arkansas did the exact same thing to the Aggies. What do you make of that? I mean, is Arkansas really that good, or A&M with Zach Calzada really that handicapped?
I mean, it's a little bit of both, right? We always want everything to be completely one side or the other. A lot of times the truth is in between. And I think it is one of those things where, listen, Arkansas is very well coached. They have a team that has like 43, 8th-year seniors on them, right? Like they remind me of like this mid-major team in college basketball, like Stephen F. Austin a couple of years ago, where they don't have a bunch of recruits, but then again, they're just a dangerous squad. Like that's kind of what Arkansas is. And, I think they were good. The problem is man, with all the offensive line issues that they have, they're just not able to get any kind of rushing attack, and that hurts Zach Calzada. So, it's difficult. I will say this, man. Jimbo Fisher's got a hell of an agent in Jimmy Sexton, because that was the best deal ever, is to get that contract extension before something like that happened, before the Alabama game. Like, well done. That's the agent I need to have going forward.
Well, absolutely. I mean, because I don't know if he'd get that extension this morning after what we saw. And then, all the things that Longhorn fans heard. You're not SEC ready, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, for Arkansas, looking at their schedule coming up down the stretch, do you think they've kind of hit their high point of the season and they're going to remember their Arkansas?
Yeah, and I don't know necessarily it's remember their Arkansas. I think they're just remembering they play in the SEC West, right? I mean, now, their crossover game is going to be Georgia this week, which, Jason, that's the best team in the country. As much as how good Alabama is, Georgia is unbelievably complete. And, oh, by the way, even, they offensively, they've only been about 75%. They get two of their best skill position players back coming up this weekend. So, I mean, that's an added level. So, again, I think Arkansas is a good, solid, top 15, top 20 team in the country right now. And there's no shame losing into them. I would have been interested to see, had it been Casey Thompson right off the bat in Sark's offense, what this Texas team would have looked like. But, then again, they wanted to give Hudson Card a run, and, obviously, hindsight's 20/20 at this point.
Absolutely. And you know what? I give Sark credit for realizing he made a mistake early, admitted the mistake by changing a quarterback early and riding the hot hand. I don't think a lot of coaches would be willing to do that, because by changing a starter that soon, you are saying, yeah, I screwed this one up.
Yeah, and that's a year zero deal, right? I mean, all of these coaches, we always say year one, but a lot of times they did not recruit the guys, or the majority of their roster. So it is still kind of that, first year zero mentality for Sark. So better to find it out now than, hey, down the road where the season is kind of lost. At least now you can say, hey, we just put up 70. We got our offense now ripping going. This is the direction we're headed going forward. So
Peter Burns of the SEC Network joining us here on the Blitz, talking all college football, not just SEC. A couple of interesting things that I want to talk about. One is Spencer Rattler and what he's going through, and the other, I don't know that I've ever seen a kid quit in the middle of a game at a major program like we did at Ohio State. Which one do you want to tackle first?
I mean, I was going to say definitely the latter, right? I mean, any time that you got an issue with a kid that, takes his gloves off and tries to get an altercation with his coach and then goes into the locker room. We're talking Kayvon Pope, right? So the story for those who don't know it is, he's a linebacker for him, felt like he should be a starter. He's getting ready to go in on a substitution. The player on the field, the starter, waves him off. He gets just absolutely ballistic about it, and almost fights the coach, goes into the locker room, tweets blank the F word, Ohio State, and yeah, he's been dismissed. So I mean, listen, that in the world of kind of this social media me first world, you're going to see that type stuff, and it's a tough situation. And they also had another linebacker transfer. All right, I mean, so they've got some issues up there at Ohio State, but I'm not quite sure what teams right now, Jason, don't have issues outside of really Alabama and Georgia.
Well, and it's a byproduct of the transfer portal. You're going to lose your backups because they want to go somewhere to start. So it affects the depth that you could have. Although this is a year with so many super seniors where teams have depth in certain positions. But I just, especially at a program like Ohio State, to have a kid quit the way he did and do it, it's just like, man, there's a lot of stuff going on there that isn't a good look for college football. And I think the same could be said at OU. I mean, they're booing Spencer Rattler and chanting for his backup. And I got to admit, when Herbie first started saying, can you play that audio? Am I hearing what it is? When they were saying, we want Caleb, I thought actually when I first heard it, they were saying, we want Bama. And I was like, what the hell is Oklahoma want Bama for right now? That would be disastrous, until I realized, oh, Caleb, that's what they're saying. That's a bizarre situation.
And then what happens? Spencer Rattler drives them the length of the field in the fourth quarter to get the win, right? I mean, that's tough, man. I mean, I think the spotlight is always shining on QB1s, but now in the name, image, and likeness world, and they can make a couple dollars, I mean, it kind of feels like everyone is going to hold them to a different accountability. So I will say this, though. We need to go back to the transfer portal. I think it's been great for the game of college football because at first I didn't like it, Jason. I'm thinking, all right, is this free agency? But what I'm realizing is that you've got really good teams that you're right. This guy's third or fourth string. Now he can go to an Arkansas. He can go to a Iowa State. He can go to one of these non-marquee teams and play. And I think that's one of the reasons why the parity level has been great. And we've seen top 25 upsets so far. We've never had that many upsets of ranked teams ever since we started doing the polls since the 1930s.
It's insane. And again, we talk about expanding the number of teams in the playoffs. We're not even in October yet. And I think you're right. Georgia is the best team in the country. Then you've got Alabama. Who else is really a quality playoff team right now?
I mean, you could say Oregon, but just because they got that win against Ohio State, which doesn't look as impressive right now. But frankly, that's kind of it. I mean, those are uber elite teams, right? There's two of them. And outside of that, I think there's probably 15 pretty good college football teams, right? I mean, you still got to give credit to, Ohio State and Oklahoma and these teams. I mean, we've become so punch drunk on blowout wins that we don't ever give credit for kind of ugly wins anymore, right? Like there's something to be said about playing your, a B- C+ game and still get a victory, right? Especially when some of these games are on the road. So I don't know. I think we've just gotten a little spoiled in, how elite some of these college football teams truly are.
Well, and I'm a big proponent, and I think Oklahoma showed it the other day. Win a game that you're not supposed to win. Play bad football. The winning team will figure out how to win late. And we saw that with the Oklahoma Sooners. As much as I was rooting for West Virginia, maybe for the first time in my life, Oklahoma figured out how to win a game because they're a winning program. When it mattered most, they got it together and got it done.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the games that I'm kind of intrigued with, this upcoming weekend are two teams that haven't looked great, but I think about, in the college football playoff, think about Notre Dame and Cincinnati, right? Like that's a matchup of number 7 and number 9. That's two top 10 teams, and neither of them play another ranked opponent the rest of the year. So whoever wins that game, it might be sitting in the driver's seat for a college football playoff spot right in the first week of October. It's crazy.
It is. And again, Cincinnati, future Big 12 team, I think a lot of people look at them and still think, well, it's Cincinnati. That's a good program. There's a reason that, besides being in Ohio and a nice TV market, there's a reason why the Big 12 sent them that invite.
Yeah, and Luke Fickell's been doing a great job. I mean, Luke Fickell, if Ryan Day decided he was going to be an NFL coach, Ohio State would make the phone call to Luke Fickell and hire him in a heartbeat right now. So, again, it's going to be a chaotic week, right? We've got Ole Miss, Alabama, the Lane Kiffin Bowl in Tuscaloosa. Yep. Arkansas is going to play Georgia. Florida going up to Kentucky, and Kentucky's undefeated right now. That's going to be a hell of an atmosphere. And how about this storyline? It's kind of cool. TJ Finley was LSU's third-string quarterback. He led Auburn to a come-from-behind victory and now probably going to be the starter when Auburn heads to LSU on Saturday night. That's going to be a crazy transfer portal storyline.
Oh, absolutely. And Auburn pulling one out again, a program that knows how to win, figures out how to get it done because they were on upset alert for 3.5 quarters, if not more. Peter Burns from the SEC Network joining us here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star. You mentioned a whole bunch of SEC games this weekend. What about Mississippi State and A&M? Is this the get right game for Texas A&M at Kyle Field with a 5 o'clock kickoff? Or 6
it
o'clock
should
kickoff?
be. The crowd should be able to get into it. And I mean, I think people have found out how to play Mike Leach's air raid offense here in the SEC, especially Mike Elko, right? I mean, Jimbo's done a pretty good job of, hey, after any kind of loss, he gets them, kind of recalibrated. So Mississippi State has had 4 just kind of really awkward games, and sitting there at 2-2, it could have gone either way. They could be 0-4 right now. So to me, if Jimbo and Aggies don't get this right, holy hell! I mean, then Jimmy Sexton really looks great with that contract extension, because I mean, Elko, all these guys right now are just dropping 7-8 in coverage and letting them complete 4-yard passes, and it's just not working for them at this point.
And before I let you go, how about your UTSA Roadrunners?
Beep beep! I'm wearing the shirt right now as we do it. I had to rep the gym. Although before I was on this phone call, I did send a text out to my friends over at Sports Center, because I know they did the helmet stickers, and they used the old UTSA helmet. So I have rectified that. We have a new UTSA football helmet up there, because Jeff Traylor and the guys need some more helmet stickers with the right logo. Got to respect the beak, baby.
Well, that's it. Now, if I remember right, when you first got up there, they didn't have one. Didn't you play a part in getting a helmet on the Bristol campus to begin with, in that big helmet locker that they have?
Hell yeah, that had to be the case, man. You got to give some love. I mean, listen, I was there at the first game of the Alamo Dome, and that's one of the things, man. It's like, to take this to this next level, as fun as this is that you got to have people show up to the games, because now they're starting to get more recruits that are believing, right? And all of a sudden, if they come in there and they see, hey, I can go to some place that has 60,000 fans, or I can go to a place that only has 19,000, even though the team's doing well, man, I mean, San Antonio can build something special there. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love to see the Alamo Dome when you get an opportunity to get some more fans in that stadium.
Well, and I know it's been a battle cry, if you will, for 2 weeks now for Jeff Traylor. Pack the dome. The home game that they had last week, 16,000. Same as they had for their first game. They got UNLV this week. Now, I know UNLV doesn't have a win on the season. Feels like a trap game. But we know that they played Fresno State well. This is not a pushover team. They've got to get over 20. I want to see like 25 in the dome. That slow build. Because I'll tell you what, they could tailgate down there at UTSA. We did it last week.
Listen, it's one of those situations, man, where it's like you take the family out there, you have a good time, especially as a perfect opponent, because you should. And I think it's one of those deals. The more people go, the more they share it on social media, the more people are going to have this kind of fear of missing out, this FOMO. And it's always good to be a part of a good storyline before they make it big. And that's what's brewing over there for the Roadrunners.
Perfect. Peter Burns of the SEC Network. Always appreciate the time. Go take care of those kiddos, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Oh, they're screaming like Pac-12 fans. It's terrible right now. All right, buddy. See ya.
Appreciate it. Peter Burns of the SEC Network here on the Blitz, as he joins us every Monday. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll talk some Cowboys and Eagles with RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. He'll join us at 5. The Moose, Daryl Johnston, will be by at 5:30. We're hanging out here at the I-10 Icehouse. I-10 and just past Wurzbach, a little bit past, right behind All-Stars. You know where it is. Come hang out with us. Enjoy $2.08 Miller Lights. Lots of great prizes to give away from Miller Lite, including Cowboys tickets to go see the Cowboys take on the Atlanta Falcons. We will give those away at 7-ish. And we've got a whole bunch of other stuff to give away, or Miller Lite does, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. So come hang out with us here at the I-10 Icehouse. And if for no other reason, the guy that's trying to steal the title hardest working man in radio, or just the one that shows up where he hears there's free drinks, Rudy J. He was with the boys earlier at halftime. Now he's over here at the I-10 Icehouse. I'm starting to, you're either the hardest working guy or where's the free stuff? If it's free, it's for me. It's Rudy J. He's hanging out here at the I-10 Icehouse as well. Maybe we'll go get some headsets for Rudy J. Make him work for it, if you know what I mean. Come hang out with us here. We're not far from Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck. They're just down the street. I-10 and Hebner, part of that Ancira I-10 Auto Complex. And if you're shopping for a new vehicle, there's no better place to go than Ancira. And I can tell you firsthand, because I am a longtime Ancira customer. Through the years, I've bought many vehicles from Ancira, and it's because of their great customer service before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. When you start the car buying process, they're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with all the options and features that you're looking for. They'll give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available, and, of course, that great customer service. And when you get a car in September, you're going to get a couple of tickets to go to a UTSA Roadrunner football game. And you know Price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
Texas Rangers baseball.
Leo 1. Joey looks to bunt toward third. Nobody there. Base hit, Joey Gallo.
Texas Rangers baseball happens here. San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Welcome to Texas, where the sun is beaming down and can damage the interior of your car, even in lower temperatures. Unless you go to Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special, where you can also buy a new car stereo since 1984.
1984? That's impressive.
Mother's Window Tint has tinted cars and trucks to stop the sun from damaging their interiors. Texans like dark privacy window tint. Come to Mother's and get some. Legal and guaranteed a lifetime. Remember to protect yourself and your family. Buy an alarm today from Mother's. Starter kill, remote start, GPS locator, 24-hour live monitoring. Save $100 on the tint and alarm package of your choice. San Antonio and Austin stores. motherswindowtint.com.
Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. Whether your home is a new build or an older home, Alamo Water Softeners has a water treatment bundle with special pricing to give your home the highest quality water treatment available. Choose from several bundles, including the Premier Whole Home Bundle. Get a free standard gas or electric water heater when you purchase a select top-of-the-line water softener, plus one filter and reverse osmosis system. Go to AlamoWaterSofteners.com. That's AlamoWaterSofteners.com.
These are the final days, the final hours of Diamonds Direct's incredible finance offer. You have until Saturday at 6 p.m. to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing. That's on any purchase. Buy now. Spread your payments over 5 whole years with zero interest. Response has been incredible, but this amazing offer comes to an end on Saturday and will not be extended. Don't miss the year's best buying opportunity at Diamonds Direct. 5 years zero interest through Saturday at 6 p.m. Get directions, details, and more now at DiamondsDirect.com.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Companies. If you thought you missed your chance to refinance and save, think again. Mortgage rates have recently dropped, and Rocket Mortgage can help you save big when you call 8338-ROCKET today. For example, with a $250,000 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, you could get a new low rate under 3%. If your current rate is over 3.75%, you could lower your payment by over $100 a month, saving thousands in interest. But you've got to act now, because no one knows how long these low rates will last. So when you need a simple way to get big savings, Rocket can. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket. Refinance offer assumes a rate of 2.99%, 3.21% APR, 70% loan-to-value ratio for the cost of 1.75 points. $4,375 due at closing. Monthly payment of $1,052.66. Taxes and insurance not included. Payment will be greater. Rates current as of 7/26/21. Conditions apply. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
They played 162 games for a shot at this. The MLB postseason, where you're just one pitch, one hit closer to the World Championship. We've got you covered on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, this is Sarah Spain, and you're on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
You heard that promo from Big Voice Man. Texas Rangers, they're just playing out the string at this point. About 6 more games left in the regular season for the Texas Rangers.
Thank goodness.
We got Cowboys tonight.
No
Cowboys and Eagles, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. Right after the Blitz, we're here at I-10 Icehouse. When I say we're, Greg Shelton is here, obviously. Everybody wants to come and get a photo with Greg. Props if you get a selfie with Greg. That gets you a $2.08 Miller Lite. But also Rudy J is here.
Yes,
Rudy
sir.
J from R&R in the morning. Have you napped?
No, not today.
Well, what's the deal?
Well, it's a team day. You know what I mean? It's game day for SA Sports Star, not the Cowboys. I mean,
well, it's game day for them too.
Yeah, Rob is out. I want to come show love. Rob and Carl, you're out. I come show love. I try to make it to all of your stuff.
You do.
You know,
yours are too early.
Plus, I don't.
Yeah,
we gonna,
yeah.
I bet if I was at a taco spot, you get up and come out for a
close
remote.
to 10. I mean,
You come through about 9:30.
I only wake up early if there's an airline involved, man. I got to catch an early flight.
You only wake up early for F45.
Yeah.
No, man, I like being out with y'all. It's a good time. Well, it's cool. I mean, look, this is work.
Yeah,
chilling,
work,
drinking Miller Lite.
Not
this
until,
is work.
Not until 7.
Well, not you.
It's Dasani at this point.
I'm looking for a long neck.
I bet you are. All right,
What's up?
Your NFL team is who?
Okay, let's break this down. All right,
it's not that hard of a question.
No, let's break this down. All right, if I want to be able to eat at Thanksgiving, if I want to be able to hang out with my family, I have to root for the Cowboys. I'll be disowned. But because my youth soccer team, when I was 6, 7 years old, was called the Bears, as silly as it is, I just gravitated to the Chicago Bears when I was a kid. So Chicago Bears are my team, and the Cowboys are my team, as long as the Cowboys aren't playing the Bears.
So if the Cowboys are playing the Bears,
I'm going for the Bears.
All right, so the Cowboys are your chick on the side.
Yes. No, she's more than a chick on the side.
Well, she should be now. I mean,
she's more than a chick on the side. She's more. I mean,
yeah.
I'm on the home of the Cowboys.
The group,
more than the chick on the
group text last night with your Bears was just brutal. I was worried,
Pledge,
man.
Why did Pledge do me like that?
I don't know, but
he went and found every horrible stat he could find.
I mean, I felt like messaging your wife saying, "Man, my boy Rudy needs a hug."
Yeah,
I mean, it was just awful.
I was like, wow, Pledge is doing a lot of research on my Bears.
Pledge is great at that.
He's a
when it's not his team.
Well, he wants his team to go on 17, so you can't even rib him.
Yeah, well, he says that he's lying to you. That defense mechanism.
You know him.
Because I know he was hurting too the other night.
Right.
We were at the Rue Pub watching the game together.
Oh,
and, the depression was starting to set in. The shots started getting ordered after the missed extra point, and it was it was all downhill for James Pledger
Thursday, and
his
McCaffrey
Houston
went
Texans.
out, and they still didn't win that game.
Yeah, that was bad.
That's exactly how I planned it.
It's exactly how he planned it. He is so full of crap. And everybody knows it, but he's trying to convince himself.
Well, see, you've known him for 20 years.
Yeah.
I got 3 months with him.
It's not that hard to figure out.
Well,
he's a simple man.
No. Yeah,
he really is.
He is.
I mean, because you went through the NBA season last year. He wasn't celebrating every Rockets loss. It wasn't until the end of the season where he tried to figure out what the positive spin was going to be.
Yeah. But no, man, this place is nice.
Yeah, it's a big spot.
This is only
lots of big screens.
It's only my second time, so I really don't remember. It's only my second time here.
So your first time was a good one. So obviously, if you don't remember.
Yeah.
So
it was like a boxing match or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, no.
But this place is nice.
The pool tables, the dartboards, the big screens. $2.08 Miller Lite all night long.
$2.08. That's random.
$2.08.
They like, yo, you gonna pay for this tax? If it's gonna be $2, we gonna.
I don't know. There's a sign up there for that and wings, and it's $12.01.
There's a kitchen here.
I don't understand. Yeah.
Oh,
are you hungry? They'll feed you.
If Minix or Sharon have a tab, I'm hungry.
If it's free, it's for me. It's Rudy J.
Hey, man.
See, the last guy that was that way.
Who?
If it's free, it's for me.
Who was it?
That win.
Oh, how is that like that with all that money?
There's a reason he kept all that money.
Oh.
If it's free, it's for me.
You know what I realized? You know what I did realize the older I get? Rich people don't spend money.
No, they don't have to.
That's smart. That's so smart.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I forget the soccer player's name, man, but he was shopping at IKEA, and they were like, hey, rich people don't shop at IKEA. He was like, no, but intelligent people do. I was like, you know what? There's something to it. Like, you see the rich guy in the Prius.
All I can tell you is he's smart enough to have somebody put all that together if he's shopping at IKEA.
IKEA's 100 pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, but the directions have 8. If you don't have extra parts, you did it wrong.
Dude, I've had so many screws left over after I put together something from IKEA.
Yeah, it ain't worth it.
It's not worth it.
It ain't worth it.
Dude, you're busy. Weren't you just out?
Yeah.
Are you out? What's today? Monday? Are you out Thursday?
Probably. I don't know.
Nice.
No, Greg Shelton says
wouldn't know.
No, Thursday night has Jacksonville, so no, we're probably not out anywhere.
Hey man, so Saturday we're together at Pinkerton's. We leave when it's 21. No, not because we were not uninterested. I had to go.
Yeah, you had to go.
And then
because your wife had somewhere to go, so you were on baby duty.
I had baby duty. So then next thing you know, I get home, we got a game. And next thing I know, they win.
I'm surprised after all that barbecue you ate at Pinkerton's, you didn't fall asleep.
Dude, it was rough. I had to sit up.
You can't go home and lay on the couch.
No,
after
you can't
that.
lay on the couch at the Pinkerton's.
You can't do that. RJ Ochoa from Blog and the Boys joins us at 5. The Moose, Daryl Johnston at 5:30. Come see us here at I-10 Icehouse. We're with Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys, Eagles tonight. You know, you want the best water quality for you and your family. Let me tell you about Alamo water softeners. Whether your home is a new build or you're in an older home, Alamo water softeners has a water treatment bundle with special pricing to give your home the highest quality water treatment available. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. Schedule an appointment with one of their whole home specialists for a free water analysis and a customized plan for your family and your home. Choose from several bundles, including the Premier Whole Home Bundle, where you can get a free standard gas or electric water heater when you purchase a select top-of-the-line water softener, a +1 filter, and a reverse osmosis system. Now is the time to take advantage of bundle pricing on Alamo water softeners, high efficiency and advanced technology with complete whole home coverage. Discover the Alamo water softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
San Antonio Sports Star Pro Football Pick'em. Online at sasportsstar.com. Can you pick the perfect matchups all season long? If so, you could win $50,000. Weekly winners score gift cards to Pinkerton's Barbecue in the Mellow Mushroom. For official contest rules and to play, visit sasportsstar.com. Must be at least 21 years old to play this nationwide contest. One winner will be selected at the end of the season. The Pro Football Challenge from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, is that a faucet running? Nope, that's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. It is? Yeah, forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. The water comes straight from the forest to us. In fact... What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum. That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe. How do trees clean the air? They soak up the dirty air on their leaves, branches, and trunks, which means clean air for us. Cool. I didn't know that. Yep. But the forest does more than give us clean air and water. It gives us shade for hot days, birds to listen to, and trees to climb. Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know how cool the forest could be. Hey, let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Oh, lots of college teams have school traditions, like gig 'em, or hook 'em, and wreck 'em. It's good fun. Good fun indeed.
Nigel, why are you holding a snare drum?
I'm glad you asked, Joel. To get the word out about Quarter Moon Plumbing, AC and Heating, I suggest we institute the following Quarter Moon Yell.
Nigel, you're loud enough, and I don't think you yell with...
Plum 'em!
Plum 'em?
It's perfect. We've got a whole team of fully stocked trucks, and our customers are the best in Texas. I say Quarter Moon, you say Plum 'em. Quarter Moon! You broke my sticks.
Folks, at Quarter Moon, we have a spirited tradition of solving every home problem imaginable, from plumbing to air conditioning to heating. We take pride in fixing those everyday plumbing and AC inconveniences. Call Quarter Moon Plumbing, AC, and Heating day or night, and we'll fix them. See what I did there, Nigel?
Joel, I think you'd better leave it to the experts.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899. License number M13229, DACLA 000743445E.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Howdy, San Antonio. Chip Ingram from the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, inviting you to come out and enjoy patio season. We have newly remodeled patios, garage doors, and everything else you need to enjoy this great South Texas weather. As always, ice cold beer and specialty drinks. Happy hours daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And our kitchen is open from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. See you soon at the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Are you thinking about selling your car? Don't get tricked with 2-minute offers only to spend 4 hours at a dealership. I want you to check out my friends at Car Zeus. It's Rudy J here. Car Zeus is not a dealership, so you don't need to worry about shady sales tactics just to lure you in the door. I'm talking about saving you time and hassle. Simply fill out a form about your car's condition at carzeus.com, and a local agent will text you an offer during business hours. No obligation. Plus, they pay the same day and even provide a courtesy Lyft ride home. That's carzeus.com.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We're at the I-10 Icehouse with Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. We've got a lot to give away today, including a Miller Lite Cowboys OtterBox cooler. We've got lots of other swag, shirts and whatnot from Miller Lite. Cowboys tickets. You want Cowboys tickets? Be here before 7 for your chance to win those Cowboy tickets. And I was a little distracted at the beginning of the segment. James Pledger producing, RJ Ochoa sort of joining on video on your phone, got all this going on. But I got to tell you why I was distracted. Our crack engineer on crack, Greg Shelton, is here. But Edwin, whose last name I don't know, but Edwin is here, and he's training. Edwin was sitting down, and he weighs maybe $140. I mean, he's the only guy lighter than James Pledger, and literally broke the chair. So there was all this, and I'm like, okay, you're the new pilot, you're flying this thing, and boom. But he recovered well. I mean, his balance, his agility was impressive, and he didn't take any of the equipment with him off the table. I think that was well done.
Congratulations to Edwin. I'm going to guess his last name is Watts. I am personally thrown off because all the time that we've done StreamYard conversations here, with you guys, I've never gotten this angle of Pledge.
Yeah, me neither. It's kind of scary, isn't it?
This is weird.
It's a little nerve-wracking. I'm
feel
not
like
sure why we did that.
And we're on the doorstep right now. You know what I mean? Like in the porch light right above us or something.
Well, and here's the thing, because Pledge got a new camera in his studio. For those of you that have never watched on
the
Facebook
bomber jacket, by the way,
or on YouTube, you probably should. But what you get throughout the show is, James Pledger is one that cannot stand still. He doesn't just sit there. He's constantly moving around like a toddler. And you'll see like the jacket he just put on a few minutes ago. Earlier it was a T-shirt. Before that, it was a different T-shirt. He changes clothes throughout the thing. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff always going on with James Pledger, and it's just a constant test of your focus when you're staring at James Pledger on the screen.
Constant test of my focus.
You have
mostly because he's so handsome, if I'm being honest. But yeah, this is a new angle. I mean, it's always been kind of an 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock sort of thing, and now just straight up 6 to midnight. So
and it's also the 3-box thing, the way he's got it going now. So apparently he figured out a new toy. Like everything about it is just very strange.
Yeah, but it's a strange day, and so I appreciate the difference. I send my congratulations to Edwin once again. And yeah, my AirPods weren't working, so now I have to hold the phone like it's 2002.
Well, I mean, and it might be, but you got a new phone, and apparently, is it the new iPhone? Did you get the new iPhone?
Yeah. So this is a really long story, and
I wasn't even going to go there, but go ahead.
I had to create. So I have an authenticator app for work for codes when you sign into things and you put your password. You need the authenticator app. And I had set my Instagram up with this app on my old phone. So go and get new phones, not a big deal. Restore from iCloud, totally normal, standard stuff. And the old app that I used was on my new phone, but the codes weren't. So I had to go through IT and everything to get all the login stuff for all my work stuff. But then I'm logging into everything again, like for the first time on my new phone. And I go to Instagram and I got my password, and it's like, okay, give us the 6-digit code in your app. And I'm like, yo, I don't have the code. And so I've gone through IT with Instagram for over 2 weeks. I even roped in RHR people to fight on my behalf. But it's It's looking pretty grim. That's all I'm saying. It's not looking solid. So I figure, you know what? I miss liking Pledge's selfies on his Instagram story. I miss seeing Jason grilling and traveling all over the place. So I just need a new one. So that's where we're at in life.
Well, and I was going to tell you, if your iPads aren't working on your iPods aren't working on your new phone, our mutual friend John Robbins got the new fancy iPhone, and he can't use his speaker phone. Apparently, the speaker part doesn't work. So they've still got some bugs that they have to work out with the new phone. What kind of bugs do the Cowboys have to work out for tonight's game against the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, I hope they squish them like a bug because, man, I want this one so bad. I hate them so much. I hate the Eagles with all of me. And, they should win, and that's the weird thing. And so I think the bugs are being that team, right? Like how many times have we talked about a Cowboys team that was on the cusp, that was really kind of improving, and the moment to really finally flex and establish themselves came, only for them to shrink in it. And then, they're behind the 8 ball, and then they battle back and they get to another moment where they shrink again. And so, okay, Cowboys, you want us to believe you're for real? Respect. You went to LA, you beat a really good Chargers team when you were down 1 billion starters. But guess what? Now you're facing an Eagles team that's not that good and that's down 1 billion starters. The guy that runs our Philadelphia Eagles site and I, we have a pretty solid relationship given the relationship between these two teams. And we both wrote something for each of our sites titled 3 Reasons Why the Cowboys or Eagles Will Lose. So he gave me 3 reasons why, he could see the Eagles losing. And the first one, the main one, is Jordan Mailata is out for this game. Philadelphia Eagles left tackle. And Kellen Moore said a week ago today, that on offense, they want to aggressively attack what defenses give them. Okay, Dan Quinn, you want to be the guy? Their left tackle's out. They got a dude in there that is and was and always has been terrible, and Andre Dillard. Go aggressively attack that. That's the kind of bug that they need to squish, because if they can't live up to this moment, which one are they going to live up to?
Well, and I look at it, the Eagles are down 2 starters on their offensive line. So the Cowboys should be able to take full advantage of that. I expect Micah Parsons to have a big game because, through 2 games, I mean, that's what he does. They've got to get the pass rush. Can they continue to get turnovers at the clip that they've been getting it? The fact that they lead the NFL in takeaways might be the biggest surprise so far of the early NFL season when it relates to the Cowboys. I'm comfortable with the offense. Can the defense get after Jalen Hurts and that Eagles offense with a beat-up offensive line?
I'm glad you mentioned the turnovers, because you're right. It is crazy that they led the NFL entering this week. And I think it's important to note, that they've, through the first 4 games last year, I know we talked about this then, the Cowboys started on the positive side of the 50-yard line once. They've done so 4 different times already through 2 games, half this stretch. And some of those turnovers have been a little bit fluky, right? Like the first one, the Trayvon Diggs pick against Tampa, the tip ball by Leonard Fournette. You can't count on that every week. The Jordan Lewis interception at the end of the first half on the Hail Mary, that's not a real turnover ultimately. This was something that I actually wrote about this past week, not to say I'm awesome or anything, but 6 turnovers through the first 2 games of a season sounds like a lot. And you wonder, is it something that's going to shrink? Is it something that, are they going to regress to some sort of mean? But generally, most teams that have 6 turnovers at least in the first 2 weeks of the season average about 2 a game for the rest of the season. And so if you told me that, if you and I, Jason, right now could talk to a magic genie and we could lock in 2 turnovers a game for the rest of the season for the Cowboys, would we not do that?
Yeah, absolutely, we would do that. And again, I want I want timely turnovers, and I think that's the other key with the Cowboys. They've gotten some timely turnovers, red zone takeaways against Tampa Bay, that kept them from getting blown out in that game and gave them an opportunity late. Same with the Chargers. It's the timing of it. I mentioned earlier in the show, RJ, if Patrick Mahomes, who has cost the Chiefs 2 games, wasn't so beloved and on whatever pedestal he's on, any other quarterback would be getting killed for those mistakes. Could you imagine if Dak or a Tony Romo would have had some of those turnovers, the kind of abuse they would be taking? Patrick doesn't get that. The Cowboys have played clean football. They're not turning it over. The takeaways are nice, but it's the timely takeaways that I'm looking for.
Jason, I'm so happy I got a new Instagram so I could see you all the time, because you are beautiful. I'm so happy. You're one of the only people who has this. You're the only person I've ever known that had the stones to say that Kawhi lost the Spurs the finals in 2013. And you're the only person I know that has so far had the stones to blame Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs' 2 losses this season. Can you imagine if any other quarterback tried a no-look pass that was, off the fingertips of his wide receiver when he was wide open that led to an interception? Everybody else would be like, you don't need to do a no-look, just throw it normal, but it's Mahomes. And to your point, those things can be untimely. The Chargers scored on those 2 turnovers yesterday against the Chiefs. And the Cowboys haven't scored on every turnover they've gotten. They've turned the ball over themselves twice. Dak has thrown interceptions, and that's not ideal. But I think you can't count on turnovers in the red zone. And I think the ones the Cowboys have gotten have been really fortuitous. The DeMonte KZ forced fumble in week 1. His head's in the right place, and maybe you call that good technique. But the pick against the Chargers last week was just Justin Herbert being bad. And so I'm hopeful that happens again, but I think the more important detail is you have to score off of turnovers. You have to. No matter where you get that ball, you have to steal possessions and you have to steal points because that's what makes the difference at the end of the game.
Points off of turnovers is a stat RJ Ochoa says to watch for tonight. When you look at the Cowboys defense, besides Micah Parsons, and I know they've got some COVID, so they're going to be a little shorthanded, but this is a team that has, at least through 2 games, Dan Quinn's personality is affecting this defense. Jalen Smith has played extremely well. When you got a mobile quarterback like Jalen, I'm looking at like Jalen Hurts, Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch have to play sound assignment football tonight when Jalen Hurts escapes the pocket and decides to take off and run.
Yeah, and that's how those 3rd and 10s, are converted, right? Because of a mobile quarterback, you're dropping everybody back, and all of a sudden Jalen Hurts has an angle, and any angle on Jalen Smith is a positive one. It's troublesome that, Micah Parsons can't really play a ton of linebacker, obviously, because the Cowboys need him up front, which is amazing given that it's only his 3rd NFL game. But yeah, I mean, we've seen Jalen Smith play really well. I wouldn't say extremely well. That I gave you a lot of props a minute ago. That's where I'll zig where you're zagging. But they don't have to be perfect, but you're right. They do have to embody a certain idea and an idea of not being conservative, but just kind of taking what they're given. And they've kind of done that so far. And I think that's where, if we're guessing, if the Cowboys lose, I think the number one question we're going to have is, okay, you went toe-to-toe with Tom Brady. You contain Justin Herbert. How could you not handle Jalen Hurts? Because he's a massive drop-off in talent from the other 2.
Well, and defensively, I look at the Eagles looked really good in their first game in beating Atlanta. Atlanta has proven to be a crap football team. So how sexy was that win for Philadelphia? They played well, but sloppy against San Francisco last week. So they're a 1-1 football team. I think offensively, the defense has to do their part tonight, which is why I wanted to focus on the defense. And Daryl Johnston will join us in about 15 minutes for Mondays with the Moose. We'll probably talk a little bit more offense there. But when you look at this offense tonight, they should have a field day against that Eagles defense with all the different weapons, assuming Amari Cooper, who's going to play, can be Amari Cooper. He plays well at home.
Yeah, and to your point, they really haven't faced a legitimate offense because the first one was Matt Ryan, who is basura, to be kind, and Jimmy Garoppolo, who makes Matt Ryan look really good. I don't know if you know this. Do you know how many yards of offense the 49ers had in the first quarter against the Eagles last week?
No.
14. You know what I mean? Like, this is a very different, animal you're up against in the Cowboys, and very different quarterback, obviously. And I think that's, the Eagles have, but they ran away with that game against Atlanta, but it was a little bit close in the first half, obviously, before they put some distance between the two. And, it was a close game against San Francisco. And I think the difference is they haven't faced an offense that can score. This is far and away the best offense they're going to face. And this is, my worry in general is this is a really, I think Philly has to have this game more because Philly's next game next week is against the Kansas City Chiefs. And you know how that is. If you're an Eagles fan, you're looking at it saying, man, we're losing next week. You know what I mean? We can't fall to 1-3. We have to have this one tonight so that on Sunday when the Chiefs come in all pissed off and beat the crap out of us, we're only at 500. And so, kind of like that Baltimore-Detroit game yesterday, it felt like one Baltimore needed more. So they just kind of found a way. And that's really where my concern lies. You and I both agree the Cowboys have a supremely talented offense. They should run all over the Eagles. They have a defense that should, seemingly be able to contain Jalen Hurts and the rest of the Eagles offense, at least to the point that they can outscore them. But do they show up, or have they bought into themselves already? Are they riding off the high of their highest quality win under Mike McCarthy? It's on primetime. It's their home debut. Generally speaking, this is when they like to let a lot of people down.
RJ Ochoa from blogandtheboys.com. Terrence Steele played well last week against the Chargers, and it looks like he's going to be the guy for the next couple of weeks because I don't see La'el Collins' suspension being overturned based on what we've heard. Can you believe the guy tried to bribe the drug test collector?
No, and yes. I mean, some of those things, it's, only the Cowboys, right? That's kind of what you feel like. And, the Cowboys paid La'el in 2019, early 2019. He was so good, and he was immediately this huge value. And to be clear, I mean, given the unfortunate circumstances why he fell in the draft, he will always be an incredible value to their football team and to their football roster. But, I mean, he has really, really, really let them down over the last 2 years now. I mean, missed all of last season being out of shape, and obviously the beginnings of that not going well for him. And now here you are. I mean, and I say this a lot and people don't like to hear it, but I do feel for Mike McCarthy. I know he's easy to bag on for a lot of people, but I mean, when he took over this job, he expected a certain offensive line. Travis Frederick retired on him, and he's had, he's entering his 18th game with the team, and he's had La'el Collins available for one of the 19th games, and one time he's had La'el Collins.
That's insane. That is insane. RJ, before we let you go, what's your prediction for tonight?
33-17, Cowboys win. We all celebrate. We all have a great week. Jason fires up the pit, makes some kielbasa's, pledge, fix the crooked sign behind him that's been bothering me this whole call. And tomorrow the angles are a little bit less disruptive when we're on the Blitz and whatnot.
For the record, the sign is straight. The camera is not.
I don't know, dude. Look at the ceiling. Like, measured against the ceiling, it looks crooked. It's not parallel with the ceiling line.
At one point, it was hung straight. I don't know. Blame Greg Shelton for that. I mean, and he probably had nothing to do with it, but blame Greg Shelton for that. It certainly is thing. So, Victory Polo Tuesday?
It's Victory Polo Monday. Please respect the brand, but it is on a Tuesday. And that was the other reason why I got my Instagram. I developed a new Instagram because I can't not share a Victory Polo Monday picture. So I expect you to be representing accordingly.
I will certainly do that. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. Follow him there on Twitter, on Instagram. Just make sure you get the right Instagram, and we'll get that going, man. Enjoy the game tonight.
One love. Later.
Appreciate it. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. The Moose, Daryl Johnston, will join us in about 10 minutes for Mondays with the Moose. And as I said at the beginning of the show, we're weaving in and out between Cowboys talk and Spurs talk. Training camps open today. Media days happened all over the place, and not just in San Antonio. It was everywhere that we had media days opening. Now, not everybody had David Letterman show up at their media days, but the Brooklyn Nets did. Now, at first I thought, well, this has to be some sort of bit that was planned. Listening to it, I don't think Kevin Durant has any idea who David Letterman is. Rudy J telling me stop it. Did you hear? Did you hear Kevin Durant getting questioned by David Letterman? It was incredible.
Dave from Basketball Digest. Kevin, KD, why do people call you KD? Can I call you KD?
Yeah.
Okay.
My first name is Kevin.
Right.
And my second name, my last name is Durant with a D.
KD. This year, what percentage do you plan on giving on the court? 90, 95, 100, 110? What are we looking at?
110.
110. I just got off the phone with the Dolan family, and they said that they're talking to the commissioner now. They're looking at working a contractual deal that will allow you, when you're not playing for the Nets, days off, you'll be able to play for the Knicks. Comments?
All right, Dave, that was the last one.
I'm sorry, was that a comment?
That was it.
How about you? Do you have a comment? Wrap it up. Okay. I'm being told my time is done. Have a great year. What about the Pelicans? When you guys play the Pelicans, does it kind of make you giggle?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's all I got. That's it, everybody. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. David Letterman showing up at the Brooklyn Nets training camp. He got to interview Kevin Durant. You know who he didn't get to interview? Kyrie. Kyrie's not allowed to show up because he's not vaccinated. So the Nets are actually moving their training camp next week to San Diego so he can work out with the team because the ordinance in New York says that Kyrie can't go. Now, Kyrie would not say if he is or isn't vaccinated. He pulled that's private, and I get that. But when you're an NBA player, when you're affecting your teammates, I think most people realize where you are, whether you tell us or not. But I mean, clearly you couldn't go to the facility because that's the ordinance. So they're going to San Diego. They got a preseason game against the Lakers. What do you do if you're the Nets or in San Francisco, the Warriors with Wiggins, when you've got an unvaccinated player? Wiggins had his religious exemption try denied, so he can't use that. And it's either get a shot or you're going to miss all the home games. And I don't think you get paid. So your half of your paycheck is gone. What I found interesting at Spurs Media Day, we'll play you some audio from Spurs Media Day coming up in a bit. The Spurs are 100% vaccinated. Greg Popovich made that announcement that everybody on that team is vaccinated. They're at 100%. I believe the Spurs and the Knicks might be the only two teams, or the only two teams that I've seen reported at 100% vaccination. Pop said he got his third booster the other day. He said he was old. He's 90, so he got that third booster. They're ready to go as far as the vaccination goes. But what I thought was interesting, and Pledge, if you could find this, we'll do it in a little bit, but paraphrasing Lonnie Walker, he said he did all kinds of research. He read about it, talked to some doctors, and I believe it was Mike Finger from the Express News that said, so you didn't get your medical information off TikTok? And Lonnie gave one of the most intelligent answers you could hear to that, because no, he's not getting his medical information off of social media, where it appears, if you read that Rolling Stone article, that Kyrie might be. That there's all kinds of weird stuff in this. Lonnie said he did all the research on his own. The Spurs provided all kinds of resources, but he went out on his own, talked to a lot of doctors and read different things. None of it coming from social media. We'll have more on the Spurs coming up. Jeff Traylor, the head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners, will join us at 6 o'clock. Clint Stoerner, still on cloud nine after the Razorbacks beat the Aggies. He will join us at 6:30. But coming up next, Daryl Johnston, the Moose, three-time Super Bowl champion, will join us Mondays with the Moose. If you're a longtime listener of this show, my spot is the Roo Pub there at 281 in Redland Road. It's the best place to go watch a game. 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around. You've heard me say many times, not only a great bar, but a great restaurant. And if they weren't a bar, they would be a fantastic restaurant. Their food, all made from scratch, is outstanding. They have the best and probably the biggest wings in town. About 15 different burgers on the menu. They've got great wraps, salads, appetizers. Get those Philly cheesesteak fries or the onion rings. And their kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with full menu available. So you're out, you're hungry, you don't want to go through a drive-through, go to the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. They have happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6, so great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub next to the Angry Elephant at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo. Daryl Johnston, he joins us next right after we get Sports Center from James Pleasure.
Thanks a lot, Jason. Taking a look in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys hit the field tonight as they play the Eagles on Monday Night Football in a battle for sole possession of first place in the NFC East. Kickoff is set for 7:15. It's a game you can catch right here on your home for the Dallas Cowboys, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. It all starts right after the Blitz, which Jason Mannix is broadcasting live right now from I-10 Icehouse. In Major League Baseball, the Houston Astros were swept in Oakland over the weekend as they fell 4-3 to the A's in their finale. They now open up a series at home against the Tampa Bay Rays starting tomorrow night. Houston's magic number to clinch the AL West is down to 2 with 6 games left to play, those series being against the Tampa Bay Rays and Oakland A's, though. The Texas Rangers won their finale with the O's in Baltimore 7-4 as they split that 4-game series. They'll wrap up their season at home as they'll open up a series against the Angels starting tomorrow night. And, of course, you can catch that game right here on your home for the Texas Rangers, San Antonio Sports Star, tomorrow night. I'm James Pleasure for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
ESPN AM 1250. 94.5 FM.
If your dream vacation doesn't include your spouse, it may be time for a permanent getaway. Call divorcedude.com at 210-201-0303 and ask for Mark, the Divorce Dude with Pulling Law PLLC. Divorcedude.com can help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude can fight for you. Divorcedude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. If the marriage is over, why fight? Divorcedude.com.
What's up, guys? Dude Perfect here. We are so excited to announce that we are bringing the Dude Perfect Tour to your city this fall. We cannot wait to get out on the road. We are so excited.
Dude Perfect, live at AT&T Center, September 29th. Get tickets now at dudeperfect.com.
We've got our favorite overtime segments. We've got crazy new competitions. We cannot be more excited to be live and in person with you. So check out dudeperfect.com for details. Signing off for now. Brown it, Noggin. See ya!
My name is Tom Thornton.
And my name is Cindy Thornton. We're retired, and this is how we live united.
We decided to volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
United Way is how we contribute, because we know our time and money are going to the right places.
Judging by the thank yous we get at the clinic, I'd say we're doing the right thing with our retirement, too. We're Tom and Cindy Thornton. We volunteer at our community free health clinic. We don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Blake Stevens with San Antonio-based GPS of Texas. If you have commercial vehicles on the road, you're a target for personal injury lawyers. I mean, you're wearing a bullseye. Our system can protect you if there is an accident with proof of speed, video monitoring, even proof that your driver wasn't on his phone. Don't get hammered. Have real proof that you weren't at fault by installing our GPS camera tracking system. Call GPS of Texas at 210-587-7634 or gpsoftexas.com.
1911 Cigars is the premier cigar lounge in South Texas, providing quality, affordable cigars in a professional, inviting environment with a large covered patio with TVs. A BYOB establishment, 1911 Cigars strives to allow the avid cigar connoisseur a comfortable place to relax, socialize, network, and of course enjoy a great cigar. 1911 Cigars is available for private events and has private cabanas with TVs, fire pits, and heaters. 1911 Cigars at 207 South Main Street in Cibolo. Online at 1911cigars.com.
At CDW, we get the right network makes remote locations seem less remote.
Great, because my data is lagging out here.
CDW can orchestrate the Aruba Edge Services platform, bringing computing closer to where data is created. It automates, unifies, and secures the edge, fixing problems before they impact your business, giving your network a sixth sense. Someone at the door?
Just a moose. He works here.
Aruba and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Aruba.
Vaccines are not enough. If you think vaccines alone will protect you from COVID-19, think again. Monitor regularly for fever, as it's the leading sign of COVID-19. Use Exergen, the only thermometer scientifically proven to detect fever. Protect yourself and your family with Exergen Temporal Scanner. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
This is Jerry Jones, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys.
San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Welcome back to the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Out at the I-10 Icehouse with Miller Lite for the Cowboys-Eagles game tonight. I'm Jason Minix, the Moose, Daryl Johnston, Mondays with the Moose. He's at the stadium up there at AT&T Stadium. I know you were in Buffalo yesterday, had a wild game there. We'll get into it. But tonight, the energy, it's weird that it's September 27th, and this is the Cowboys' first home game, the home opener tonight.
Yeah, we had a season like that where we opened the first two on the road early on. I think it was kind of an old schedule thing that, the Landry regime had put in place, where knowing it was still going to be a little bit warm here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, they'd go out on the road quite often, I think, and play the first 2 games out on the road, which would back end you with some home games at the end of the season. So, we had that a little bit early on, but then Jimmy wanted to use the heat that we trained in to our advantage. So, we started scheduling those games in the heat down in Texas.
And, of course, you get a Monday night game. You think about everything that we saw on Sunday yesterday with all the games that were being played, some games that were tight that you didn't maybe think were going to be tight. What's your anticipation of what you're going to see from the Cowboys tonight? Because after 2 weeks, I'm still having a hard time figuring out what this team really is.
Exactly. And I think that's the case for a lot of teams, around the NFL and even some of the ones up at the top, as we saw last night. So I think it was a huge step, a big win on the road against the LA Chargers last week. We watched the Chargers, go into Kansas City and knock off the Chiefs, which was very impressive considering the Chiefs lost the week before. So that victory continues to add value. Some things that were, a little sloppy at times, that they get fixed. And you kind of hear every coach on Monday talk about that here through the first couple of weeks of the season. There's good, there's bad in there. We've got to sit down as a team and correct the things we can correct and build on the things that we did well. I'm interested to see what Kellen Moore thinks is the best way to attack Philadelphia tonight. If you go back to week 1, one of the things that Philadelphia defense did is they got after Matt Ryan and that offensive line of Atlanta, and I think that was probably one of the biggest factors in that surprise win week 1. And I'm anxious to see who Philadelphia is. I did not expect that type of performance week 1. Kind of a sloppy game with San Francisco last week, but played them tough. So I think that there's a lot to learn about Philadelphia here, and I expect to see Dallas take another step defensively. Continue to play fast. Can they keep that turnover string going? I mean, the Dallas Cowboys leading the NFL in takeaway and turnover ratio. How long has that been? So can they continue to take the football away? So there's a lot of positives to look at, and hopefully they're able to continue to build on those.
Yeah, I think the answer to that is you were still playing there, getting Super Bowls with the Cowboys as 3-time Super Bowl champion. Daryl Johnston joins us Mondays with the Moose here on the Blitz. It's been a while, and you certainly know that. One thing that I know it comes with the territory and reporters are asking questions. I'm surprised Dak is so open about the injury and this being his first regular season game at the stadium since the injury, and acknowledging it's in the back of his mind. He said he'll think about it and then, turn that switch when it's game time. Are you surprised that he's so open about talking about the injury and not really trying to move past it, even though I know he's just answering questions that are coming from the reporters, but he's given really good in-depth answers about it, and it's real?
Yeah, I think that's the great part. I think it just kind of shows who his personality is, what his personality is. He's not going to give you a stock answer, a cliche answer. I think we saw that with his mental health challenges, during the lead up to 2020 last year. He's very open. He's very honest. He kind of lets you into his world a little bit, which is refreshing. And maybe it's this generation, because when we were getting ready for week 1, Joe Burrow did the same thing. Early on in training camp, early August, he said, I don't really feel confident with people around my legs right now. I've got to work on that. And they did some drills for about a week where, when he was in the pocket, they had pads that they would, get around his legs and, kind of get his eyes retrained to being down the field and not worried about what was around him. And I was really surprised that he was open and honest like that about that situation. So it is refreshing. There's nothing worse than getting a stock answer or a football cliche from somebody when you're trying to gather some information to prepare for a game. So I love the fact that some of these guys will be really, really honest with us and share some things that maybe, other quarterbacks or even maybe previous generations of quarterbacks wouldn't have shared. They would have held that a little bit closer to the vest.
Daryl Johnston joining us here on the Blitz. I know you played with a lot of injuries back in your day as a fullback, that battering ram. Amari Cooper is going to go tonight playing with cracked ribs. Could you imagine playing wide receiver with busted ribs?
No. because there's really it's going to hurt, and it's not going to hurt just when you get hit. It's going to hurt when you get fatigued and you start to breathe deeply. It's going to hurt and change of direction. So everything that Amari Cooper is going to do on the field this evening, he's going to feel those ribs. They're going to remind him that they're cracked. So yeah, I'm impressed. But that's one of the reasons why you give that guy the contract that the Cowboys gave him. You kind of knew some of that about his personality. He's a warrior. He's going to play. He's going to go at times when other players might not go. So those are some of the things you're looking for. The quiet leadership, the lead by example. Those guys are really, really important. You've got your vocal leaders and the guys who can stand up in front of a team and get the juices flowing and get them pumped up before a game. But then you need some of the quiet leaders that just do the right thing all the time. Kind of show you how to be a pro, whether it's on the field or off the field. And that appears to be who Amari is. He doesn't say a lot, but I think a lot of people listen when he speaks, and I know a lot of people watch everything he does. I've heard that from the coaches that talk about his ability to run routes and how good he is at teaching some of the younger guys some of those little secrets.
Do you think he's more of a decoy tonight, even though he's playing? If he's out there, do you think they'll use him the way you would expect Amari Cooper to be used, or does Kellen Moore, just have him draw coverage away and not really throw him the ball as often?
Well, then you're playing 10 on 11, and it won't take Philadelphia long to figure that out. And if he's going to go, he's going to go. I don't think anybody puts that helmet on and walks out onto that field expecting to be a decoy or somebody that's just going to, fill a spot on the field. You only go on the field if you think you can help your team earn a victory. So Amari feels confident that he can get out there and be productive in a way that will help his team. And if at any point during the course of the game, if he feels he can't do that, then I would not be surprised to see him come off the field and see Cedric Wilson get out there and take his reps. But he's going to give it a go, do the best he can. But no, I would not foresee him being a decoy. Reason number one is it makes it a lot easier on Philadelphia's defense if you're 11 on 10.
Very true. And again, I know a lot of fantasy owners listening right now that are going with Amari Cooper like hearing that, because there's so many questions. Like, I hope you're able to start, and more importantly, I hope you're able to finish the game, because if he tries to go and can't, then the Cowboys are at a bit of a disadvantage. But they have so many weapons, and you think about the way Pollard was used last week along with Zeke. Do you expect to see Kellen Moore continue to do that with those two guys? And do we maybe see Pollard even line up as a slot receiver?
Yeah, I think we'll continue to see that combination grow, the contributions. It's been a long time coming. I think we've all been intrigued by the skills of Tony Pollard and just trying to find a way to make that work. Whether it's Tony on the field by himself or on the field with Ezekiel. So, where do you want to put him? It's some of the things it just makes the defense think a little bit more. When you see, Tony Pollard break the huddle and leave and get out into formation, they've got to start to think a little bit. So it's going to stress the defense there. It wouldn't surprise me to see this game start off a bit like Tampa Bay and just get a feel for what that defensive line is of Philadelphia, how they're playing tonight, how the matchups are going across that front. You hope people don't get frustrated with it, because, what we remember from week 2 is how effective we were running the football. But this could be one of those situations where Kellen Moore looks at his matchups up front and really what that game plan is going to be could slant a little bit more towards, Dak Prescott in the passing game.
Let's talk about the defensive side. We saw Micah Parsons play defensive end last week. Expect to see him playing that again, too. I mean, for a guy that didn't play football at all last year, he opted out of his final year there at Penn State. For him to be able to come in and do that, what does that say about his football IQ?
Yeah, right. Just tremendous smarts beyond, what you've gained during the course of your time as a player in meeting rooms. You just got a natural feel for it. And not only going out to the defensive end position, but actually being effective, impacting the quarterback. And it's just raw talent. I mean, there's not a lot of skill there yet. And that's the exciting thing. And I go back to what we talked a little bit about, probably the first week, mentioned that Dan Quinn thought that Micah Parsons was one of the best blitzing linebackers he's ever been around. And now I think is his role here starts to grow, and you see some of that athleticism and that unique skill set that he has. If somebody can get with him and now start to show him, some of the pass rush moves, landmarks when you counter, using your hands, understanding leverage, how to get an offensive lineman, off his center of balance, to create an advantage for you. I just think, he's a unique guy that could just continue to grow and grow and grow in his roles here. He's not just going to be a linebacker. I mean, he can definitely walk up. We saw it a little bit in the preseason when he would, kind of walk up into the gaps and be a part of the rush, from a stand-up linebacker. But now when you're talking about a guy who you can put out on the edge and go one-on-one with a defense for an offensive tackle, that you feel is a good matchup. And let's not forget, when DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory get back, you're going to have, one of those guys on maybe, what you consider to be the better of the two edge protectors. And then you can get Micah Parsons maybe in a mismatch on the other side with his unique athletic ability.
Dan Quinn can't wait for that day to come. And you look at the Eagles tonight without two starters on their offensive line. How did the Cowboys take advantage of that?
Yeah, they need to, and that's I think that's kind of the one area that still really hasn't defined itself. I think they've got a nice rotation starting in there, but who are some of the guys that are going to step up and really kind of make that their own? Who's going to be the front guys? Obviously, some injuries along the way that has impacted opportunity for the guys down inside, but they have to make that work to their advantage. I know it's a young group down there, but this is an opportunity for you when you get an offensive line, and we've seen how much that can impact what an offense is able to do during the course of the game. If the Dallas defensive line can exploit some of those matchups in the offensive line and impact Coach Sirianni's play calling, that's going to be huge. And I think that's kind of where you saw Kellen Moore last season, kind of working through all those injuries in the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. There's just certain things that you're not going to be able to do when Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins and Zach Martin aren't in the lineup. You've got to protect your quarterback. You've got to do things, to try and move that football down the field that are going to be, uncharacteristic of what you would normally do in those situations. So, can the Dallas defensive line, put the Philadelphia Eagles offense into that position, make them do things that they're not really comfortable with because the matchups up in the offensive and defensive line are favoring the Cowboys.
The Moose, Daryl Johnston, 3-time Super Bowl champion, analyst with Fox Sports, joining us here on the Blitz as he does every Mondays with the Moose here on the Blitz. And I know you're at the stadium or maybe in the parking lot about to walk in. Big night. Not only is it Cowboys Eagles, it's Monday Night Football, but you got three that are going to get their Hall of Fame rings in a special ceremony today, including Jimmy Johnson. You were there at the Hall of Fame in Canton. You got a lot of FaceTime that weekend. To see Jimmy and Jerry seemingly have made up, and we know it's not Ring of Honor night. That night will come, and Jerry's been clear he wants to make sure that the celebrations are on their own and equally special. But what does it mean to you as a former player seeing Jimmy getting the recognition finally that he deserves?
Yeah, I had a great conversation with Rick Gosselin, up in Canton. And, Rick is the guy that does the promotion of the Dallas players and is actually kind of worked now with a lot of the former players, to help them get in, once they kind of get into that senior status. Rick is phenomenal at finding those little caveats that help people understand why this nominee should be in the Hall of Fame. And for Jimmy, even though he had won the back-to-back Super Bowls, I think a lot of the guys that are on those committees look at tenure and success over time. So, the follow-up into Miami not being as successful is going to, maybe sour some people on that. The fact that he was here, just briefly in Dallas and really in the NFL overall, he's not a Tom Landry. He's not, some of these coaches that have been, in the NFL as head coaches for decades. What Rick did was show the committee that Jimmy was not only the head coach, but also, the general manager and the talent evaluator and created those teams. He was innovative with the big Herschel Walker trade. He came up with some valuations that people are still using today when you do your trades. He was very forward thinking, not only in coaching, but also as a talent evaluator. So, what Rick was able to do was was show that, Jimmy won 2 Super Bowls here in Dallas back to back. And then another head coach, 2 years later, won another Super Bowl with really the core of his players that he had assembled. So, it wasn't just Jimmy Johnson as a head coach. It was Jimmy Johnson as a head coach, a general manager, a talent evaluator, and a dynasty builder. And I think once you get all those different pieces in place, it's kind of hard for that committee to look at Jimmy's presentation and say, I mean, absolutely. As soon as Rick Goslin finishes his presentation, everybody's going to go, yeah, it's time. It's time for Coach Johnson to be in here with us.
It certainly is long overdue. And then Ring of Honor night. And I know with a whole bunch of your teammates and former teammates in the building tonight, it's going to be a great night to celebrate those and then hopefully watch a Cowboys victory. Daryl, always appreciate it. We'll catch up next Monday.
Look forward to it. Take care, Jason.
Appreciate it. Daryl Johnston, the Moose. Mondays with the Moose here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star. You want to watch that Cowboys victory? Come watch it with us. I'm over here at the I-10 Icehouse. We're hanging out with Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. We've got Cowboy tickets to give away probably in about an hour or so from right now. We'll give away those tickets, a Miller Lite Cowboys OtterBox cooler, and some other great prizes in 208 for your long necks, your Miller Lite long necks all night long here at the I-10 Icehouse. Come hang out with us. Watch the Cowboys and Eagles tonight. Coming up in about 10 minutes, Jeff Traylor of the UTSA Roadrunners. He'll join us, Clint Stoerner, at 6:30. You know you want the best water quality for your family. Let me tell you about Alamo Water Softeners. It's a great company, great locally owned, family-run business by the Townsends. So whether your home is brand new, a new build, or you're in an older home, they have a water treatment bundle with special pricing right now to give you and your family the highest quality water treatment available. Go to the website, alamowatersofteners.com. Schedule an appointment to have one of their whole home specialists come out to your house and give you a free water analysis and a customized plan for your family. Choose from several bundles, including the Premier Whole Home Bundle, where you can get a free standard gas or electric water heater when you purchase a select top-of-the-line water softener, a +1 filter and reverse osmosis system. This is while supplies last. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
The Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles, 2 bitter rivals, 1 big night. Get the action live tonight starting at 7:15. Sponsored by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
My name is Josephine. About 9 years ago, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I suffered from digestive issues and had pain all over my body. I was always tired. I was pre-diabetic with hypertension. I thought this is how I'd live the rest of my life. Doctors would prescribe medicine and send me home, but nothing helped. Then I saw an interview with Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. I called for a free evaluation and immediately realized I have found the answer. After being on Dr. Torres' program, my pain went away, my body went through good changes, and I had tons of energy. Even my mindset changed. I have a life again. I've lost 70 pounds, went from a size 18 jeans to a size 7. I no longer take medication. I've learned to manage my fibromyalgia, and my digestive issues have vanished. I feel great. Dr. Torres has changed my life.
I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. Call me for your free consultation, 468-1891, 468-1891.
Pro football season's here, and pro roofers save valuable time with Beacon Pro Plus. Beacon Pro Plus works 24/7 for material ordering, order history, and automated promotion tracking, so you can get your favorite GAF roofing products even when working remotely. And now, order on Beacon Pro Plus and get a $175 gift card and a chance for a VIP pro football getaway. Gear up and raise your game with Beacon Pro Plus today. Build, score, and win at BECN.com.
Hi, welcome to Smoky Moe's.
At Smoky Moe's Barbecue, we smoke our meats fresh, in-house, each and every day. We think it makes all the difference in the quality of our moist, flavorful brisket and turkey, and the mouth-watering tenderness of our ribs and pork loin. Got a crowd? We've got group packs and full-service catering. Up early? We've got made-to-order breakfast tacos. Find your store at SmokyMoe'sBarbecue.com and come see us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Smoky Moe's Barbecue. The pit is lit. Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
New surveys show that Americans don't think vaccines are enough to protect themselves and others from COVID-19. 80% want thermometers used in public places to screen for COVID-19. And 36% know that non-contact devices are inaccurate. Use Exergen at home, at work, and in public. It's the only thermometer proven accurate by more than 100 published clinical studies. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
Get the latest scores and more from high school football online anytime at 210varsity.com. Sponsored by the San Antonio Express News, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm your home for Dallas Cowboys football. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz. I'm Jason Minix. We're out at I-10 Icehouse. Cowboys, Eagles tonight. Come watch with us. The I-10 Icehouse just past Wurzbach, right behind All-Stars. Rudolph Renee Moose on our Facebook Live. Yeah, I went way long with the Moose. We got Jeff Traylor coming up in about 6 minutes. Pledge, this has you written all over it, and we're giving away tickets right now. Are these your tickets, or are you trying to win these for yourself? This is way up your alley.
Very much is.
If I screw this up, just tell me where I've gone wrong. The Big Texas Comic-Con is coming up October 8th through the 10th at the Henry B. It is called the Pop Culture Event of the Year, the Big Texas Comic-Con. Ticket holders will also have meet and greet opportunities with fan favorites, including an actor I've never heard of, but he's from Cobra Kai, so that's cool. Another dude from Cobra Kai, some guy named Doug Jones, who was in Hellboy and whatever the Shape of Water is, and Star Trek, so it's right up Pledger's alley. Richard Brake, Kurt Angle, he's a wrestler. I recognize that name. Christian Cage says he's a wrestler. I don't know, a whole bunch of people. It's going to be a big thing. I know that this is a big thing. It is not my kind of thing, although I'd probably go and have a great time. It's one of those kind of events.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a pair of tickets that we are going to give away right now. Pledge, how do we give these away? How do we get people to geek out Pledger level?
Well, on halftime, they asked what they were going to dress up as.
Oh, I don't want to know.
Okay.
I mean, you end up looking like one of those cell phone commercials where you get the days mixed up. I don't want to know what you're dressing up as you go to this. It's one of them. This is the dress-up event.
Yeah, it's a Comic-Con.
As long as you're not going as a furry, I think we're all good, man. Go get your costume. Go have a whole lot of fun. Caller number 9, those tickets are yours. 656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 9, you get a pair of tickets to the Big Texas Comic-Con. Jeff Traylor, head football coach of your UTSA Roadrunners. He joins us next here on the Blitz. You know, injuries do happen. If you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries, and he has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available, and if you do need surgery, you'll get referred to the specialist that's going to get you out of pain, because you know there is no reason to be in pain. If you're hurting it, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Schedule an appointment by calling 210-804-5490 or go to their website, tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
Get the latest scores from all varsity sports and all the schools in the 210 anytime at 210varsity.com. Sponsored by the San Antonio Express News. While you're at the game on Friday nights, upload photos and videos to your school's page.
No way.
Plus, check out game schedules and more. 210varsity.com. From the Express News and San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
You and your your spouse went from I do to I don't, it may be time to walk down a new aisle. Call DivorceDude.com at 210-201-0303 and ask for Mark, the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. DivorceDude.com can help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude can fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. If the marriage is over, why fight? DivorceDude.com.
Welcome to Texas, where the sun is beaming down and can damage the interior of your car, even in lower temperatures. Unless you go to Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special, where you can also buy a new car stereo since 1984.
1984? That's impressive.
Mother's Window Tint has tinted cars and trucks to stop the sun from damaging their interiors. Texans like dark privacy window tint. Come to Mother's and get some. Legal and guaranteed a lifetime. Remember to protect yourself and your family. Buy an alarm today from Mother's. Starter kill, remote start, GPS locator, 24-hour live monitoring. Save $100 on the tint and alarm package of your choice. San Antonio and Austin stores. MothersWindowTint.com.
Remember, do it at Mother's and save!
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
I want to be a bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
This is the home of the Cowboys, Rangers, and Aggie football. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250, 94.5 FM. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube Live, appreciate you. But better yet, come see us. We're at the I-10 Icehouse with Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys, getting you ready for Monday Night Football. Cowboys and Eagles, come watch it here. We're going to give away Cowboys tickets coming up at about 6:45, but you must be present to win. So get over here to the I-10 Icehouse, I-10 Wurzbach, just past Wurzbach, right behind All-Stars. Kickoff just after 7 o'clock, but we're giving away those tickets right around 6:45-ish. So get over here for your chance to win those tickets. You want to hear about a winning football team? That's our next guest, Jeff Traylor, joining us now, courtesy of our friends over at Pinkerton's Barbecue. And, Coach, I got to tell you, I went to the watch party at Pinkerton's Barbecue on Saturday afternoon. The place was packed. The barbecue was great, and it was 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. And at that point, I even tweeted, at least the barbecue is good. And I don't know what you guys did in the second quarter and what you said at halftime, but to be in that kind of hole, what did you learn about your team to battle back and get that incredible win?
Well, so you fell for the trick. We were just trying to get some more national publicity for the 2-1-0, so we just went 21-0 to get some more 2-1-0 publicity for the entire time. Never let the facts get in the way of a good story, right, Jason?
Well, and you are right, Coach, because everything you do has a purpose, and getting down 21-0 served your purpose with the triangle traveling.
Right. I hope you noticed we called timeout with 2 seconds left in the game before we could kick it on 2 and win it on 1-0, the 2-1-0. We just got to keep showing up. We got to get all the attention we can, Jason. You know, we knew it would take some time for us to adjust to their speed. We had a critical penalty on the very first play of the game, so it's 1st and 25. And then I think Frank was just reading that jack and took his eye off the ball, and, you know, it's 7-0 before you know it. Their speed got us to the number 4 and number 5 were just really fast, and we didn't adjust to that till probably middle of the second quarter. And our kids just settled down, and we never lost faith. And I've told this story before that their fan base was fantastic, and they had way too much sweet tea, and they were a little inebriated, and they were all screaming, "Jeff, you suck. Jeff, you suck." And I told my defense, I said, "Look, man, if y'all don't start playing better, I'm fixing to get me some sweet tea, go up in that dang student section and enjoy the game and start chanting, Jeff, you suck with those people. Let's get going.
Are you serious? So the crowd literally was chanting that behind you, behind your bench?
They were awesome. They're a great college crowd. They were talking smack to our kids the entire game. They got really quiet in the fourth quarter, Jason. It's amazing how quiet they got in the fourth.
Isn't that the best? When you can go into a building, they had won 17 straight, and you shut them up. I mean, is there a better feeling?
Only the locker room. The best feeling is the locker room, but the second best feeling is just the silence when the ball splits it up right. It's freaking golden.
Well, I can tell you out of Pinkerton's barbecue, it was anything but silent when that ball split the uprights. I mean, it was incredible. And I look at the comeback, the way I see this team. They never quit. They kept battling back, and everybody, all three phases. But it was like that team, even though when your Roadrunners were down 21-0. Like they still played like they felt like they were going to win that game. When did UTSA turn the corner to being that kind of football team?
Well, we've got a lot of history to build on. We did it at BYU. We did it at UAB. We did it against Louisiana Tech. We did it against Louisiana Lafayette. Now, we don't like to make it a habit to follow behind that much, but we've kind of done it, and we just don't go away. And, it's the first pillar of our culture pillar, just being a man of integrity. At halftime, I told them, I said, look, boys, this is one of those days. You came home from work. You lost your job. You don't even have a job anymore. Your truck won't crank. You go outside to relax. Lawnmower won't crank. Baby's crying. Wife's upset because you don't have any money. You just got fired. Well, what are you going to do? That's the kind of day we're having right now. And all you can do is go back to work, try to get it fixed. And my kids did that.
Man, that East Texas in you. I love it. Jeff Traylor joining us here on the Blitz, head football coach at UTSA. And, Coach, you did all that. You get the win. When Hunter went out there to kick that game-winning field goal, what was going through your mind?
We had done it 1,000 times. We do it once a week. We call it a kick to win. And, we circle around him. We throw water on him. We holler at him. We scream at him. We do everything we can to distract him. And he gets one shot, and we don't give him a mulligan. So if he makes it, we win. If he misses, we lose. He's just such an amazing kid. He's voted in that single digit for a reason. He's just that kid. The kids really respect him and love him. Very few kickers have the respect of their team like Hunter Duplessis. He cleans the plane. After every time we get off the plane, him and his specialist clean the entire plane. He eats last on every single meal. Even though he's a super senior and a captain, he eats last. He's the epitome of what you want every one of your players to be like.
I was going to ask, I saw the photo on social media of the special teams group cleaning the plane. Is that in every trip, game day job duty that the specialists have? Even after you kick a game winner, you're the one picking up and helping clean up. Although I will say that bag didn't look empty. It looks like all your players cleaned up after themselves. They're just getting the loose stuff. But that's part of his job duties too?
No, he just took it on himself. I mean, Coach Perry and those guys do a fantastic job, and Coach Roberts. And that's just who those kids are. And every time we do it, our airline stewardess every time say we're the only team that ever does that for them. I know those people appreciate it. They don't have to clean that plane. And it just goes to show you the kind of kids I've got on my team.
There was a photo after the game. You're having a brief, quiet moment to yourself. I see Kyle Stevens is in the photo, so I guess it was, after a little bit of the celebration, the shirt dries a little bit after the Gatorade bath, a moment of reflection. Can you share with us what you were thinking in that moment, if you even remember?
I just got through praying, or I was about to. I was just grateful. My prayer was our kids would just show up differently on TV. Winning and losing, that's who knows what's going to happen, Jason. I just always pray that our teams look different, that when people watch us, there's something they see that they just know that our kids are different. And I really felt like that prayer was answered. And our kids, I was just grateful. I was just grateful and was so glad. I felt like that was going to be a momentum-changing game for our program, and I thought that might be the one that got the city excited. We landed. There were fans here. They were landed at the airport. There were fans there. cars honking, people cheering. We got back to the race facility. There was fans here honking and cheering. As I'm driving home, there's fans on the side of the road with signs out cheering. I really feel so much more momentum and so much energy than I've ever felt since I've been here December 9, 2019.
Well, I could tell you, someone that was at that very first game, I haven't seen the excitement level since then, at where it is right now for your UTSA football team. You got a big home game coming up Saturday against UNLV. We'll get to that in a moment, Coach Traylor. But I did want to ask you about you talk about being on national TV, and this one was on ESPNU, and you had the big watch party. And, Coach, if you could have seen the number of people that went downtown to that watch party, you'd have been thrilled. Just the momentum, the excitement, everybody in their gear ready to go. That morning on College Game Day, the Bear picked you in an upset. So you got some national love on College Game Day. And then you had Sincere getting a helmet sticker from Joey Galloway that night for the performance he did. And I had Peter Burns from the SEC Network, former UTSA golfer, say that he's actually already worked to make sure they get the right helmet up there. They have the old helmet. They need a new one up there in Bristol.
We're sending it. It's already done. Stretch got that done today. Rowdy's on the way.
Rowdy's on the way, and you need it. Getting that kind of attention for your program on game day and then on the recap show at night, one of your players getting a helmet sticker, that UTSA helmet up there, coming off of this kind of a win. Can you put into words what that means to this program when it comes to recruiting, comes to donors, just everything? It's one thing to get attention. It's what you do with it.
Yeah, it's not just the football team. It helps our soccer, basketball, track, golf. It just helps everybody. So it's such a great feeling to be able to help. I said when I got hired, Jason, some people can only follow me on Twitter and give me a like. Some people can afford to buy a ticket. Some can afford to buy a suite. Some can afford to write a large check that can help change this program forever. We want this thing to be something that lasts, Jason. We don't want to be a flash in the pan. And it takes help. We're a long ways away, but we're a lot closer today than we were Saturday.
And this Saturday in the Dome, we've talked about packing the Dome. We had 16,000 at the last home game. Win like that on the road against Memphis should get you 10,000 more in that building, I'd hope. And you've got a great opponent coming in. And I look at UNLV and I see that they're 0-4. And I hope this isn't the trap game, because they're a pretty good 0-4 football team when you look at who they've played and the scores of those games, and reading up and the recaps and looking at box scores. I haven't seen them on film, but this isn't, hey, there's an 0-4 team coming in. This one should be an easy layup. This is going to be a tough football game on Saturday.
Right. If you studied, what would our record be, I wonder, Jason? I mean, Eastern Washington's an FCS national power. Iowa State's top 25. Arizona State top 25. Fresno top 25, and they had the lead on Fresno late, and they lost the game 38-30. I never tell our kids a lie. They didn't like it that I told them Memphis was faster than us, but they believed me. They didn't like it. They did like it that I told them Illinois was a Big Ten team, but we were more physical. I knew we were superior athletically to Lamar, and I thought our defense was going to really shut down Middle Tennessee, and I thought we were going to struggle offensively. I'm not Nostradamus for dang sure, but what my eyes see on the video, I tell my kids the truth. They'll believe me. They'll respect them. They know we'll be in a great ball game Saturday, and we'll show up.
What do you expect out of UNLV? For those that haven't seen them and just see an 0-4 record, what kind of team do they remind you of, or can you compare them to?
It's a good analogy. It's a great question. I'm sorry. The analogy I would probably give, they're as talented on defense as Middle Tennessee for sure. Offensively, they're a pro style. Marcus, their head coach, came from the National Football League. Their defense is very NFL-like. They run a lot of stuff. They're very complicated in their scheme. So they're very NFL-looking, and they're trying to turn the program around. He inherited a program that had not been winning. They've got great facilities. They've got money. They've got resources. He's a really good person, a really good coach. So I know he'll have his guys ready Saturday.
All right. So what's the theme this week? We've gone from don't eat the cheese to interesting videos of what eating too much cheese can do to you. What's the What's the word over there at UTSA this week for your players to make sure that this doesn't turn into a trap game?
Well, I mean, not that I care, but Bretman Murphy says we're still not going to a bowl game. We're still not the top 25. Sincere McCormick still was not player of the week in our conference. Most carries a running back's had since 2016. And I was actually coaching on that team. I don't know what he has to do. We got plenty of stuff we haven't achieved yet. And I love it when people tell my kids they can't do something because they love to prove people wrong.
Fair enough. Jeff Traylor, head coach at UTSA. Pack the Dome this Saturday. It's going to be a good one. UNLV against UTSA. Kickoff is at 5. Tailgating will start as soon as they open up those lots early in the morning. And I was out at the last tailgate. It's a lot of fun out there. Coach, we'll see you Saturday in the Dome, man. Congrats on an incredible win. I don't know. Where do you rank that one as far as biggest in school history? It was Illinois. Did you top it a couple of weeks later?
You know, it's funny. My dad this morning, we were speaking on the phone. You know, he's just a good old dad, right? He just loves his boy no matter what. And he's like, hey, you think that win was more exciting than when you came from behind 21 points to West Orange Stark in the state championship? I'm like, Dad, I don't rank them like that, buddy. I'm just going to try to win the next one, and that's all we're going to do. There'll be a day I hope I can retire and go hit a golf ball with you, Jason, so we can talk about all that stuff. But right now, we're just going to try to win the day and go beat UNLV.
It's kind of like, asking your dad, which one of the kids do you like more? You love them all the same, right?
Very well put. Very well put.
Good stuff. Jeff Traylor, head coach at UTSA. Always appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week after you guys go 5-0.
Thank you, Jason. God bless. Birds up.
Birds up for sure. Get your tickets. Go support this Roadrunner football team. They're a fun team to watch with a lot of San Antonio area players. And I was at the Dome last week. It was loud for 16,000. But, man, there should be 25 in there. There should be 30 in there. Remember when I was doing the Commanders games and we had 30 in there for the Dome? I know you guys can go. Texas plays at 11. A&M plays at, 5 or 6 against Mike Leach. You can track that on your phone. After what you saw last week, Aggies, go watch the UTSA Roadrunners play. We'll talk a little bit about that Aggies Arkansas game coming up. I'm sure our friend Clint Stoerner might mention it a time or two. We're supposed to talk NFL and Texans, but I'm going to guess old Clint Stoerner is going to talk about his Razorbacks and what they did to the Hogs and the Longhorns. As Rudy J said, boy, they got the lease on Texas. For some damn reason they do. It is the Blitz. We're out here at the I-10 Icehouse. Cowboys and Eagles coming up. It's a packed Monday. Come hang out with us here at the I-10 Icehouse. We're giving away Cowboys tickets coming up in about 45 minutes or so. We also have from Miller Lite the Cowboys Miller Lite OtterBox cooler, which is about $300 in value. It's a fantastic cooler. Got a lot of other prizes. Come hang out with us. We'll talk about Cowboys Eagles coming up. We got Clint Stoerner coming up. And the Spurs, they had media day today. And we're going Spurs. We're all over the place on this busy Monday. The Spurs open up media day today. And it's a weird time for the San Antonio Spurs because they start training camp knowing they're not going to win a championship. Hell, this might be the first time they've opened a training camp, certainly since Greg Popovich has been the head coach, the first time they've opened up training camp without a bona fide all-star on the team. I mean, they're a bunch of guys. Even Greg Popovich said, there's no superstars on this basketball team.
I don't think so. If you just look at it, DeJounte's going to play. Derek's going to play. Ronnie's going to play. Devin's going to play. Calvin's going to play. And everybody else will, be punched in there, here and there. And in any given game, it could be totally different people who, get the time that night. It's not a negative to say, but we don't have superstars. This is not a superstar-filled team. It's a team filled with great character, a lot of will, and that's what makes it fun. So on any given night, it'll probably change up in some way, shape, or form.
And I got to admit, in the offseason, I thought there would be some guys that aren't here. I thought the Spurs might make a trade. I saw where Lauri Markkanen said he thought there was a deal done with the Spurs, and Then they realized he and James Pledger can't be in the same city because of a restraining order, so he decided no, that's not true. But, I mean, he said he thought he was coming to play in San Antonio. The Spurs didn't pull the deal. This roster is put together with a bunch of guys. You got your good players. They don't have a superstar. Not yet, anyway. A budding superstar in Keldon Johnson. DeJounte Murray, we'll see. With no DeMar DeRozan, there's no ball stoppers on this team either. There should be movement. Pop says the way this roster is built, by design.
This is purposeful, what you're seeing. So it was put together with a lot of foresight and a lot of discussion, with Brian, with RC, with the coaches. It's purposeful.
It's purposeful. And again, you look at it and there's some people that question it, but it is kind of one of those interesting things as the Spurs start this season. No all-stars, not sure what they're going to do, but they've got a lot of, as Pop talked about, young, energetic, high-character guys that like each other and want to win. And we saw that at camp today. Seeing Derek and Keldon and Lonnie having some fun at media day. Derek was at the podium. Keldon kind of snuck up behind him. When Keldon was behind him, Derek didn't know that he was behind him. Joe Reinagle said, hey, what do you really think of Keldon? And he started giving some sort of answer, looks at Lonnie. Lonnie says overrated. If you see the video, you see Derek's eyes get big like saucer going, did you just say that? And then he realized Keldon was behind him. And he says, honestly, he's annoying. He's always, I mean, you can tell this is a team that has fun, but also very serious about what they're doing. And I think about Pop when he talks about the character of the guys that he has. I remember Lonnie Walker's rookie year. Rob Thompson and I over at Media Day when we could do one-on-ones. That was the one thing that was different about this Media Day. We were all in the same building, but there were no one-on-one opportunities, which sucks, but I'll take what I can get. I was in the same room. We didn't do this all over Zoom, so I was thrilled with that. The Spurs are 100% vaccinated. And I go back to meeting Lonnie Walker back then. He was a kid, 1 year in college. I've got a daughter in college. Rob has two kids that are, one's in college now, and Jack, I think, is 25, 26. So we're used to being around people of that age. And then you meet a guy like Lonnie Walker, who is wise beyond his years. Thoughtful kid, smart kid. You can just tell a kid that has their stuff together. Lonnie Walker was that guy. And I go back to the Spurs at 100% vaccination. You see what's going on with other teams. Brooklyn. If you haven't read it, go read that Rolling Stone article about the NBA and vaccination. And I think for the most part, what are they pledged? 90% vaccinated, the NBA. But you've got guys on individual teams, and the ones that are going to be affected the most right now are in San Francisco and in New York, because unvaccinated people aren't allowed in buildings, indoor places of large groups. So that means they can't go to work. That's not an NBA thing. That is a city ordinance thing. Wiggins tried to get a religious exemption, and he was denied. Kyrie, what are you going to miss, all the home games? They're moving training camp to San Diego just to get him some practice, and he can play in a preseason game against the Lakers. And the way L.A. is, I wouldn't be surprised if L.A., if the Delta numbers continue to go up, went to a similar model as what San Francisco has. And you go back to Kyrie, and I'm not trying to bag on Kyrie, or maybe I am. But you go read that Rolling Stone article, and it just makes you shake your head. When talking about vaccination rates and getting vaccinated, Lonnie talked about why he decided to get vaccinated and the research that he did on his own before deciding to get the shot.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the power of social media. You don't know what you're going to get out of it. Sometimes it may be the truth. Sometimes it may be false. I think at the end all be all, when we were kind of figuring out what's best for what, we went to the doctors. A lot of us were never even had any shots going into this. So it was a bit of an eye opener. A lot of people didn't know what to understand or get an answer from. The best thing that I did for myself was I tried to get the best information. So I asked these questions and figured out, what was best for myself, my family, my teammates. and so on and so forth. And, you know, I think we all had the same similar eye view on this, and we all kind of got vaccinated on it. Oh, no, he definitely did. TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, leave it alone. If you want your real information, get it from, you know, a family physician or someone that knows, you know, that dynamic of the game.
It was Mike Finger that asked him, so you didn't get your info off of TikTok?
There's a possibility. You know, there's just so much false news out there, you know, so it's hard to really dictate what someone may be going through or, you know, what type of battles they might be dealing with, such as, you know, to figure out what they're going to do. So all I'm worried about is myself and my teammates at the end of the day. I could care less about what any other player on any other team has to say or think.
I am so glad to hear that, and I hope that is pretty consistent within the Spurs locker room. Because you read that article in Rolling Stone, way too much to unpack. Some of it, you read it and go, people actually think this. That's scary. And then you realize it's influential people within certain communities and locker rooms, and, you know, a player with the profile of Kyrie. Now, Kyrie, while he wasn't allowed to go to media day today because there's people in the building, he did do Zoom from his home and would not say whether or not he was or was not vaccinated. But all indications are he's not. But some of the stuff that was it his aunt that runs his foundation that was talking about all the different weird stuff in that article? It was a family member of his that was speaking with Rolling Stone. And then you go and you look at some of the pages that he follows and Instagram and social media posts that he likes. And if that's any indication that if he liked it, that means he believes it, that's a scary position to be in. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. If you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, come hang out with us at the I-10 Icehouse. Kickoff tonight just after 7. If you can't make it out here, of course, you can listen to the Cowboys-Eagles game, but it's better if you come watch it with us. And if you do, you could win some prizes, including Cowboys game tickets that we'll give away before 7 o'clock. Clint Stoerner joins us next, and you know you've got all your different plans. None of you do plan on getting arrested, but if you do, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, 225-2121. You can text the word bail to 474747 or even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7. They have offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. License number 149, whether you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, anywhere in between, AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. Clint Stoerner joins us next, right after SportsCenter. Pledge.
Thanks a lot, Jason. Well, we have just gotten word what the inactives for tonight's game for the Dallas Cowboys will be, as they'll be without safety Donovan Wilson, quarterback Will Greer, tackle Tyen Secchi, and defensive lineman Dorrance Armstrong and Carlos Watkins for tonight's game, who are all on the inactive list. The Cowboys take on the Eagles coming up here in a little under an hour on ESPN. It's also a game you can catch right here on San Antonio Sports Star, starting right after the Blitz. It will be a battle for sole possession of first place in the NFC East. In college football, the UTSA Roadrunners improved to 4-0 as they upset the Tigers in Memphis, coming back from a 21-0 deficit to win 31-28 thanks to a 42-yard field goal by Hunter Duplessis as time expired, as Sincere McCormick ran for 186 yards and a score on 42 carries. The Longhorns offense continues to roll as Casey Thompson threw for 303 yards and 5 touchdowns in the Longhorns' 70-35 rout in their Big 12 opener against Texas Tech, while the Aggies fell to now 8th-ranked Arkansas 20-10 as Texas A&M dropped to 15th in this week's AP poll. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. Whether your home is a new build or an older home, Alamo Water Softeners has a water treatment bundle with special pricing to give your home the highest quality water treatment available. Choose from several bundles, including the Premier Whole Home Bundle. Get a free standard gas or electric water heater when you purchase a select top-of-the-line water softener, plus one filter and reverse osmosis system. Go to AlamoWaterSofteners.com. That's AlamoWaterSofteners.com.
These are the final days, the final hours of Diamonds Direct's incredible finance offer. You have until Saturday at 6 p.m. to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing. That's on any purchase. Buy now. Spread your payments over 5 whole years with zero interest. Response has been incredible, but this amazing offer comes to an end on Saturday and will not be extended. Don't miss the year's best buying opportunity at Diamonds Direct. 5 years zero interest through Saturday at 6 p.m. Get directions, details, and more now at DiamondsDirect.com.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. If you're having to rework your office, let Hill Electric design your socially distanced space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. For over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. There is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's opponents on Man versus Train. At the crossing, we have Rick, a 175-pound frustrated man who's running late for work. And on the tracks, we have Bull, a 1 million-pound freight train that takes a mile to stop. Let's see who comes out on top.
You can't beat a train, so don't try. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
Get stylish, durable flooring for your home that will last a lifetime. And get it installed with help from Lowe's. Get Stainmaster Pet Protect carpet starting at just $199 per square foot. And Pergo Wet Protect laminate starting at $249 per square foot. Both with limited lifetime warranties. Order now, only at Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility. Install available in-store only and through independent contractors. See Lowe's.com for details and licensing. U.S. only. See Lowe's.com product detail page for more warranty information.
My grand opening is tomorrow. Can I get custom posters printed today?
It's possible with Staples Connect.
I need to promote my new curbside pickup service.
Also possible. Staples Connect can help your business grow with custom printed sales and marketing materials. Now get 20% off signs, banners, or posters when you spend $75 or more. Explore what's new at your local Staples. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. Ends 10/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/signage for details.
This is The Blitz with Jason Minix and the brightest sports insiders. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Yeah, all them Aggies that was out there talking that cash all week on social media. We got a song for y'all. This is me and my boy Justin Moore. Sing along if you want to, baby. You got your $1,000,000. You got your flashy sports car. You got your trophy girl. Man, you think you're a star. Got your team bleed. You like to play the rich game. You really think you're a cowboy. The new Jesse James. But I could kick your ass. I could jack your jaw. Put you flat in the dirt, boy. And I'd have a ball. Go ahead and act tough, like your John Wayne son. But things can change fast, and I can kick your ass. Enjoy this one, Hog Nation. Enjoy this one, baby. That's a big time W right there. Go Hogs, baby.
I can only hear so much of that. Blitz, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? All right, there we go. I guess I got to wear the right headphones. Yeah, apparently. You know, it happens that way. I mean, I started hearing that singing, and I had to pull those off as we're live out here at the I-10 Icehouse getting ready for Cowboys and Eagles. And then I picked up the wrong pair, and they didn't work. Boy, that was beautiful, wasn't it? That was something else. Clint Stoerner, I know you're still on cloud nine. I don't know if you sobered up yet or not, but go ahead, man. I'm glad we didn't go double or nothing, man. Arkansas owns the state of Texas.
Hey, man, you're at the I-10 Icehouse, man, and you just played me and Justin Moore sing a little "I'll Kick Your Ass," man. That is absolutely beautiful. What a setting, man. What a setting.
You have no idea. And there's a guy sitting right over there with a Cole Miller Lite in his hand while he's wearing a St. Louis Blues T-shirt, which is kind of one thing. The fact that he's wearing an Aggie hat tells me he's just confused, but he probably doesn't want to hear you talking about how your Razorbacks took out A&M Saturday. But I'm curious though, Clint. Last week you weren't as confident in your Razorbacks as you were going into the Longhorn game. What was different on Saturday up there at Jerry World?
Well, look, I think Arkansas is better than any of us knew, number one. But I do think that I think it was a really good matchup. I thought going into that game, Arkansas being the number 8 rush offense in America and A&M being, I think they're like the number 86 rush defense in America, I knew that Arkansas had a fighting chance. Their identity is running a football. And I had watched all of A&M's games. And they were not good against the run. I mean, you look at it, Kent State rushed for 226 yards and Colorado run for 171 yards. And, you know, I knew there was a weakness there. So it was a really good matchup. But I'll be honest, nobody knew that Arkansas was a good enough football team to go in there and beat A&M the way that they beat them.
It was incredible. When you look at that game with all the hype and where A&M is ranked right now. And I think about through the year, it's been a long time since Arkansas has beaten Texas A&M, but every one of those games is a hell of a football game. Even you, were you surprised at what you were watching it? When did you realize we got these guys? There's nothing A&M can do.
Well, I don't know that I ever felt like there was nothing they could do because we lost our quarterback in the third quarter. I thought we were going to give it back to them, but I literally the first drive of the ball game told me a lot. Told me that it was going to be a good ball game. And when Arkansas busted off a run for 16 yards, and then they busted a run for 15 yards, and it got called back, and then they busted a run for 12 yards. They literally went eight plays, 59 yards, and they only had one completion. And I knew then, okay, the matchup of Arkansas's run game versus the weakness of A&M's defense, which is that run, it's real, and Arkansas has a chance to exploit it. I didn't know for sure if they could exploit it because A&M got some guys back. But when that first drive, I thought, okay, we're on to something here because if Arkansas can run the football well, then they've got one of the best receivers in the country in Traylor Burks outside. And it literally played out, to a T, run the ball, boom, and then you hit Burks on a couple of big plays. And that's how they ended up beating A&M. I knew at that point in time it was going to be a good game. But anybody that tells you that they knew, we knew Arkansas in that game at any point in time, Arkansas had them and was going to win that way, I think they're lying to you, man. That was going to be a nail-biter all the way. Once Arkansas's quarterback went out, it was going to be a nail-biter.
Clint Stoerner joining us here on the Blitz. He does a show on Sports Radio 610 in Houston. Of course, former Arkansas quarterback, former Dallas Cowboy quarterback. I saw you tweet a TexAgs post from Isaiah Spiller where he said they never stopped us. We hurt ourselves with penalties and holdings and things like that, but they never stopped us. As a athlete, when you hear a quote like that from another athlete after a loss, what does that tell you about either that team or that individual athlete?
Well, I just hope that that's not the message that Jimbo Fisher's, spreading within the locker room of his team. Sarkisian said the same thing at Texas after Arkansas absolutely skull drug them, and I hate it. I hate the fact that that's your statement or that's your message after a game where you clearly got outplayed. The best football team clearly won that game, and as an athlete, man, look, if you're the types of penalties that they were committing, holding penalties, you're committing a holding penalty because the guy across the ball from you is kicking your ass, and you can't block him within the rules, so you're holding him. Consistently, they were doing that, and so I don't know. I mean, personally, I hate it. And personally, if I were an Aggie fan, I would hate to hear my coach say that. I would hate to hear my players say that. And I didn't like when Sark said it, and I damn sure don't like when Spiller said it.
I'm with you. I mean, I don't mind hearing the excuses, especially if there's some truth in there. But at some point, you've got to tip your hat to the opponent. At some point, you have to say, yeah, they got us. We didn't help ourselves, but to say they never stopped us, they didn't do anything. Dude, I watched the game. The Aggies looked as bad as the Longhorns. And, the difference there is, the Longhorns had a quarterback that just couldn't settle down. I look at Zach Calzada, and he just doesn't have that sixth sense to feel any pressure, and it got to him. And line play, all the Aggies that were talking, welcome to the SEC, Texas, their line play didn't fare any better.
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic when you get between the Longhorns and the Aggies for sure. Here's the thing. Again, I'll put my college football hat on because I do a lot of college football talk on the weekends and throughout the week in different parts of the country. I mean, here's the deal: if I'm evaluating Texas A&M, I have less questions about the team and more questions about Jimbo Fisher and the scheme at this point in time. Right? You can't have a defense that has 9 returning starters, 11 contributors returning, and it's littered with NFL caliber players, and you go out there in 3 of your 4 games, you get ran through on the ground. I mean, that can't be the case. And I know that a coach will say, well, the players got to play. Yeah, but ultimately it always goes back to the coach. And Jimbo Fisher is one of the highest paid coaches in America. He's been there for 4 years. He's recruited 5 stars. Everybody talks about how all he does is develop talent. What's going on the defensive side of the football? Right? So I've got that question on the defensive side of the football for Jimbo. And offensively, Jimbo Fisher, same thing. You've been recruiting 4 and 5 stars. You are known to be a quarterback whisperer. You develop talent. You were gifted Kellen Mond for 3 years as your starter. You had 3 years to recruit and develop several guys to back up Kellen Mond. And what we've seen from quarterbacks under Jimbo Fisher at A&M, other than Kellen Mond, they've all been bad. And so my questions are more about Jimbo Fisher, year 4, highest paid coach, great recruiting, supposed to be a great developer. What the hell is going on the football field? I mean, it's bad.
I'm just glad for Jimbo he got that raise prior to this game, because I don't know that his agent would have got that done this morning after what we saw on Saturday, as Clint Stoerner joins us here on the Blitz, our quarterback guru. I threw something else out earlier in the show, Clint. I want to get your thoughts on it. The Kansas City Chiefs are 1-2, could be 0-3, but 2 of those losses are on turnovers, bad decisions, poor throws by Patrick Mahomes. Any other quarterback is just getting blasted. I think about, Tony Romo played too much golf and went to Cabo. Yeah, and I look at Dak, and when he has bad games, is he focused on the game? And then you look at Mahomes and, buying into the Royals and getting Whataburger there in Missouri. Why does Patrick Mahomes not take any heat for essentially costing his team 2 games?
Because he won the big dance already with that same style of ball. I mean, that's the only reason, because you can't say we can't literally. Now, I mean, we can, and I'm all about it. I'm here for it. I'd love to evaluate, and I agree wholeheartedly with you, Jason. But the fact of the matter, the reason he gets away with it is because he's won the big one, and he's been to the big one, and he's consistently in the conversation, right? But what you're talking about, Jason, is exactly why when he won when he went to the Super Bowl and lost and then won it the next year, maybe it was the AFC Championship, then won it the next year, whatever it was. When he won it, everybody started talking about, oh, he's going to chase Brady. He's going to chase the GOAT. Can he get to 6? I'm like, whoa, pump your brakes, man. This isn't a team that's built like the mid-'90s Cowboys, that it was a running game, just big boy bully football that can just walk into any stadium and handle business. I mean, what they're doing is risky as hell, and at some point in time it's going to bite them, right? And so right now, what we see right now is Pat Mahomes. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Pat Mahomes does unorthodox things with the football. He throws low percentage passes. He takes too much risk with the football. He's just been able to do it to a degree of winning a Super Bowl, so people think it's okay and everybody wants to be like him. What you're watching right now is live by the sword, die by the sword, and he's had a couple of rough weeks.
On the other end of the spectrum, how do you evaluate Justin Fields?
Well, you know, this is the thing that's hard when you're talking about quarterbacks that are drafted in the top of the first round. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you know, they're just not provided the support to have success in the NFL. And I think right now you're seeing several of those guys really struggle because of the support. We can look at Mac Jones. I mean, Mac Jones is the only one getting the support that's necessary in New England. But you can look at Zach Wilson with the New York Jets. You can look at Trevor Lawrence with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Or you can look at Justin Fields in Chicago. And none of those guys are being provided. I'm talking just a bare minimum. I'm talking about an average run game. I'm talking about average protection. I'm talking about a play caller that can just design a game plan and put a game plan together that puts you in position to have success. Most of those young guys are not getting that, and Justin Fields is obviously this week the talk of the town, the talk of the NFL, because of how Matt Nagy exposed him, if you will, this past weekend. But you can't evaluate these guys. You can look at Trevor Lawrence and go, man, he made 4 big league throws out of 30 attempts, but the other 26 were awful. You know, you can do those kind of things. You can pick out like just their amazing strengths and what they really do well, but you can't fairly evaluate them. Look what's going on with Sam Darnold right now. That's what we're talking about.
Clint Stoerner from Sports Radio 610 in Houston, joining us here on the Blitzes. We're minutes away from the Cowboys and Eagles on Monday Night Football. Of course, you played for the Cowboys. Obviously, Arkansas Pledge wants to play your song on the way. Yeah, we might do that. Why not? But before I let you go, though, Clint, I do want to ask you a Houston Texans question. Jay Glazer at Fox over the weekend said that Houston, the organization, is starting to soften their stance on the trade demands that they want for Deshaun Watson. When I look around and I see Big Ben struggling the way he is, if you're the Steelers, you're on the phone saying, what is it going to take? Because we need to get a replacement for Big Ben as soon as we can. Are you hearing that they are softening their stance on what they want in return for Deshaun Watson? And do you think a trade is any closer?
I don't know. I do not think a trade is any closer, and I do not believe any of those reports whatsoever. I don't. I think the one thing that Nick Caserio is got. I think this is the biggest decision that Nick Caserio will make as a Texas GM, and hell, it may be the biggest decision that he'll ever make in his entire how his GM career, whatever the future looks like for him as a GM. This is going to be the biggest decision that he makes. How he handles Deshaun Watson, not only because of it's going to be the biggest breaking story, the biggest thing that happened in the NFL this year, but because what he gets in return is going to either fast track or stall the rebuild of the Houston Texans. I don't think he at all is softening up. I don't think they're anywhere close to a trade. As I said before, I think as long as there's a criminal there's criminal complaints and that investigation is open, I don't believe any team will take the risk. If that once those criminal complaints are and assuming they're dismissed, then I believe it'll heat up. But until then, I'm not buying any of it. And never at any point in time should Nick Caserio ever soften his stance or take less for Deshaun Watson, because he's got the one player that every organization spends years and years and years trying to find. And he will be able to play football again one day. And when he does, the Houston Texans should get an absolute haul for him. Nick Caserio cannot soften his stance with Deshaun Watson in no way, shape, or form.
And apparently has turned down the offer of 3 1s and 3 3s, if you believe the reports as we're hearing them. I've got a theory that one of the reasons that he hasn't been traded, because I do think a team would be willing to give that up for the sure thing that is Deshaun Watson. Right now, he's not on the commissioner's exempt list because Roger Goodell knows he's not going to play for the Houston Texans. Do you think if you're another team, you want some assurances from Roger Goodell that if we give up these assets, you won't put them on the commissioner's exempt list? I don't think that he's gotten that. I think Roger Goodell would put him on the exempt list immediately if he got traded, because he doesn't want to see him on the field. If he's in Houston, he doesn't have to worry about it, so he doesn't have to go on that list. Do you buy that?
I buy it. I'm shocked he's not on the commissioner's exempt list as it is, just because what the precedence that Roger Goodell is setting right now, Jason, is that he can never put, without a criminal charge, he cannot put a player on the commissioner's exempt list, because he decided not to put Deshaun Watson on the commissioner's exempt list when he had 22 civil lawsuits of some degree of sexual assault filed against him. And I think it's 9 or 10 criminal complaints filed against him. Like that makes it damn near impossible for Roger Goodell to ever use the commissioner's exempt list without a criminal complaint. A criminal charge. I mean, that's absolutely wild. But I do believe that the only reason it is in status that it is because he knows the Texans aren't going to play him. The minute he's put into a position to where a team decides that they may or may not play him, I believe he goes on the commissioner's exempt list. There's no way Roger Goodell sees that thing through if he's traded and put in position to play. But look, I don't think anybody makes a move for him without them having some kind of protection of a not a conditional, but what am I looking for? Like a
protected pick or some sort of assurance from the commissioner that if you trade for him, you're able to use him and play him this year, that he won't go on that list if things don't certainly change. I'm with you there. Clint Stoerner from Sports Radio 610. Always appreciate the insight. Congrats to your Arkansas Razorbacks. I'm glad we didn't go double or nothing. Just don't have a couple of cold ones and start singing into Instagram again, man. That should not happen.
Hey, let them boys beat Georgia. Hell, I may take my clothes off and sing on Instagram.
Oh, good Lord. Don't threaten us, man. Go Dogs. Clint Stoerner, always appreciate it, man. We'll catch up soon.
All right, brother. Be good.
Appreciate it. Clint Stoerner from Sports Radio 610 with us here on the Blitz. We're at I-10 Icehouse getting ready for the Cowboys Eagles. I think, are they doing the giveaway now? We got Cowboys tickets that we're giving away. A Cowboys OtterBox cooler. You got to be present to win. Everybody's gathered around Renee over there. You got time to get over here, watch the game with us. They just brought me a bucket of beer. We got to empty that thing. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star. We'll get you set for kickoff when we come back. If you're dealing with any issues at the house with your plumbing, your heating, your AC, you know there is one company to call, and that is Quarter Moon at 210-651-5899. At Quarter Moon, they are full service, big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission, sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they've earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. 210-651-5899 is the phone number for Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 651-5899 or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
A time when the boys of summer turn into the men of fall. When every pitch matters and every hit could change the game. The MLB postseason heard here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
New surveys show that Americans don't think vaccines are enough to protect themselves and others from COVID-19. 80% want thermometers used in public places to screen for COVID-19, and 36% know that non-contact devices are inaccurate. Use Exergen at home, at work, and in public. It's the only thermometer proven accurate by more than 100 published clinical studies. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
And Doug, don't you just love the smell of old books? Shh, this is a library. Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance so you only pay for what you need. I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction. He really does devour literature. Please leave. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's San Antonio area attorneys. Offices in San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
This is Rob Thompson for BetUS.com. My sportsbook, it should be your sportsbook. You ask why? Well, BetUS has been America's favorite sportsbook for over 25 years. You need a sportsbook with integrity and longevity. You need to know that you're going to get paid, and that is BetUS.com. You also need a sportsbook that has everything you want to lay money on. Live betting, MMA, golf, and everything else, including all those great prop bets. The number you need is 1-800-79-BET-US. Call them and say KZDC and get 200% in bonuses. That's KZDC. BetUS, where the game begins.
Did you know that United Healthcare helps connect you to doctors and therapists with 24/7 access to virtual care?
So I could have therapy from my couch?
Yep.
Or a doctor appointment from my car?
If you wanted to.
Wait, you're right. I don't even like when people see me sing in the car. Couch appointment it is. Virtual visits are just one of the ways United Healthcare helps connect you to better health. Learn more at uhc.com. Plan benefits may vary.
So as you guys know, Mark's gone.
The float artist at Fred's Floral just took off, days before the parade. They need a replacement before business passes them by.
And who am I going to get to finish the float?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
We've got your free tickets to see every Dallas Cowboys home game all season long. Register to win now at sasportstar.com. Cheer on America's team on your home for Cowboys football. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Jay Will and Zubin on San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's almost time for kickoff. That means it's almost Miller time. Want to thank our friends at Miller Lite for having us out here at the I-10 Icehouse. If you're still driving around looking for a place to come watch the game, they just brought me a bucket of these. I can't have a drink of this for 30 more seconds.
Bragger.
I'm thirsty, Pledge.
Me too.
I'm thirsty. Well, I've done something about it. You can too. Come hang out with us at the I-10 Icehouse if you're watching the game. I don't know if I can handle the Manning cast tonight. I'm going to hang out here and enjoy that. Rudy's ready to go. Rudy J has his Miller Lite sleeve. He's geared up, ready to go. Cowboys, Eagles. You can listen to it right here on San Antonio Sports Star, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. It's Miller time. Good night.
Here we go. The Dallas Cowboys live here all season long. Every snap,
I love it.
every catch,